We all good?
We're good. And we're in.
Heck yeah,
We're
brother.
in. All right. This is Rise Esports versus Gunnerz in Paris. This is kind of long.
I'm very confused about their name. I hope they're not playing from Paris. Like, there'll be some mad latency going on there.
Their logo is a little bit of a play on for PSG, I believe, the soccer team. Their logo is a little bit close to that.
I can see that.
Talked about it earlier in the
Some
chat.
football fans.
All right. Well, everyone's in the lobby actually, and they're ready to go. We've already delayed for a bit, so I think we can just jump into this one.
I think they were
Alright.
nice.
For them, we're a little bit. This is a little scuffed in that regard. We have no stats for them. I've already casted for Rise. They're pretty darn good. I don't remember if I've casted for Gunnerz in the past. If I have, apparently they didn't do well enough for me to remember that. So unfortunate for that. But now we're not gonna have audio. You and Mick, we're not gonna have audio, but we're obviously gonna have less latency.
That's fine. I ain't
The gameplay,
stressing
which
it.
is what we need. So, we can't see the game right now, by the way. Okay, so first map is Coastline, which I'm actually excited for. This map's a little hard to deal with considering the skyline in the center of the map, but it is a little bit easier to attack when it comes to the first floor, especially kitchen, because if you take the second floor, which they're going to shut down here, they're going to either ban Buck probably. That's probably a very strong ban.
Yep.
Or maybe the Thatcher, because we see the sledge gets banned, which was a huge thing taking out the top floor, especially with the viability and nades in hand. That's taken out. If they have Buck in play, which they are obviously leaving him in play, there's no nades in hands for that. So we're going to see a different type of play for that. So possibly seeing more utility, maybe a glass pick. We've seen glass before in kitchen, so that could be a very strong pick for both sides. Valkyrie, very normalized ban. We'll probably see a mirror ban here.
She's also a super popular pick, so I wouldn't doubt that's going to come up.
And I am fairly certain it is the Mira. I could take a bet on it. It's banned every single match I've ever seen. It's not the Mira! Oh my god! All right, I'm excited. This team has made a decision that I did not expect. We're seeing Smoke banned, which is a absolutely huge defensive player. Number one pick on defense. Almost entirely one-sidedly. You don't play without a Smoke on your side. Smoke or mute in that regard. So we're obviously going to see a lot of mutes for that shotgun.
We're probably going to see a lot of mirrors as well with leaving her open.
Judging by what they picked so far, on the defense at least, the Echo pick is not too shocking. We don't see the Mirror. They could make that 6 pick over. We do see a Frost, which is actually probably going to get switched off, I think. I don't think they'll stick with Frost. If they do, I'd be shocked. I would be impressed.
It's going to be Frost or
it.
Echo. It really depends on how comfortable they feel about this.
I hope that stays. I hope this whole squad stays. Even though we're not seeing the Mirror we talked about, I do still want to see...
no changes.
Still want to see the Mirror as well. No changes. Wow. Okay, so no 6 pick for either side. So attacking side, from what I saw, was
attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Here on Coast. He was very, very strong on that. It's hard to read a couple of the names. The bitrate can be a little bug. Mirror's Milkers. God, I remember that name. I remember casting for that multiple times. Hockey and Rap. That's the lineup for Rise over there. We got Godville, Vexy, Zori,
10 seconds to
Soku. Kayusoku at H17. That's
5 seconds remaining.
That'll work.
You gotta have an accent to it. Is that
attackers
what I
must locate and defuse a bomb.
Add a little bit of waifu kind of accent. Something. Splice it a little.
Is that what the casting's gonna come down to at the end? Alright, so very obviously, I guarantee that the bathroom match and above second floor is gonna get busted out. There it is. Hockey takes it immediately. They're not gonna waste this off. Clearing out from this direction is very strong, but you do see that there are 2 defensive players holding that. They only know about one of them, and he's just gonna peek away and go direction. No need to stress about that.
Seems they're gonna put him over here somewhere, kind of peeking across. Possibly get a second drone.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Some kind of intel to clear out that bathroom in case they want to push it, because Gridlock's holding that out over there.
Yeah, you gotta worry about, especially when you're in like small rooms anywhere. Like,
bomb located by attackers.
If you go in from the bottom floor, there are a ton of cheeky. But we we do see they've actually taken it with one side of the swung and taken it. And there's the first frag as Wrath drops down.
Attackers are activating bomb
Back down to the 4v4 situation, but it gets traded. Now it's a 2v3. Frags dropping in every single direction here. Mirrors, Milkers, and Trees. The last one's left, but the diffuser is taken with 36 seconds on the clock. There's the shots going out. Mirrors, Milkers dropping down. Another kill. 2v2 late, and there it goes as Mirrors Milkers gets dropped outside the window. That's a huge frag for them, and there it is, cleaned up the diffuser.
Position
Now getting
compromised.
done. Godwell, a great punch there, pushing very quickly. Now,
Defenders have
Orion
disabled
to
the
the
bomb
occasion
diffuser.
here, planting in like
Bomb
35
defusing attempt
seconds. That
failed.
was a very,
Defenders
very
win.
quick.
Issue is they just couldn't hold it down. I feel like with everything and how close the team was compressed and kind of like leveled themselves on the second floor, they're just quick to retaliate. And I don't think Arise sit there, gathered themselves quickly. Meanwhile, Paris, I don't think they saw it coming that quick. I think they had a little more roamers. They probably felt a little bit too safe in that situation.
I'm highly worried about, for Arise's sake in this situation, they planted the diffuser, they had the opportunity and they took it. They didn't have the site itself covered in any regard. We saw they were very late to get outside the window. Wasn't the operator we thought would go outside the window, at least not in my opinion, not the operator I thought would go outside the window. I don't know if that came down to necessity or the fact that one of their entries got fragged out early. But we do see that Nomad does come into play. They're not going to play the gridlock. The defensive side is switched again. They're playing Frost again. We do see the Maestro and the Goyo come into play, which is actually a very good combination.
Attackers
in
need
that
to
regard.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
We also see
Attackers have discovered the location of the bomb.
Those are both kind of like flank watching kind of based operators, so it's kind of odd they want to sit there and switch out for the same kind of shit. Because when you see the enemy team, you don't see too many roamers. I mean, you could consider Frost one, but Jaeger, for the most part, he's going to be only that real threat. And being in such a kind of compressed area with this kitchen bomb, then I don't think there's going to be too many guys getting too far out. I mean, you may
10
see one
seconds
in
to
bar
go.
over there, but besides that, I don't think there'd be too many roamers going on around here.
5 seconds
Now we
to
have to be
insertion.
very wary in terms of how the attack is going to push. And like you said,
Attackers are
it's the
heading
gridlock
out to
out of the
defuse a
Nomad.
bomb.
It's, in my opinion, it's a lot of this league specifically. But she does have a very large audio cue for that ability. Some smart players can actually counter that, because not all Nomads place their gadgets in the right spots, the spots that can't be shot around corners. They'll place them on soft walls. So I think technically speaking, the gridlock's probably a smarter choice over the Nomad. But we do see that there's just not much roam potential on the defensive side. Usually you see a Malusi that is a phenomenal roamer recently, especially. So I would be amazed to see, we do see that Goyo is actually roaming. Not a bad decision considering he has the vector, but he is quite slow. He does get his kill as 817 drops out. That kill in the first beginning section here. It's a huge frag, but he gets traded right back in return. The Ash, I can't see the name. That was Raph, I believe, who got that frag. Now, we obviously see they still have everything to shut up the roam potential. I think there is another roamer there might be, and apparently it's not going to work out as Jackal gets fragged out right there as well. Rise is really struggling to get positive frags here. They're barely fighting back. They're having to fight back from a negative position.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Where those Goyo shields are placed.
Clear the blast area! Get clear!
Same with apparently Ash may have a ban of skin here.
Crash. Yes, indeed. He's going to have to get a rehost and play. Probably work out anyways. This round will have to be rehosted. Probably working anyways because the chat is apparently talking about us casters are a little bit the game itself is too loud. So while the rehost happens, that can also come into play. But this round is going to have to be forfeit. Rise will use their one rehost they have available. Make sure they double check that. I know this round's not going to matter, but there is 2 down players, one on both sides. So that is Mira and Godville, and it does go as Vexy or Vizzy, Vizzy. However he wants to be called. I checked their names beforehand. I don't know what they wanted to be called though. But we will see some of the players moving out here. They're going to head out, and we need to get the rehost underway for that side.
All right,
Round
we're
two,
back
so
in
we
our
got
screen,
1-0.
just so you're aware of the
Alright, it
cams
is
are back on
1-0
us.
for 1-0 in favor of Gunners in Paris. You guys can't see right now, but you know, Godville and H17 last one's left. Pick the cap cannon Kaid pick there. We're really about to clutch out in that, 2v0 situation.
Okay, I'm gonna
Just
cut us
sweep
to
the
a
floor
short
with no
break
man out
then,
there.
while we're gonna wait here for this rehost. Let's just take a couple minutes and we'll be right back. we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. Just bringing a little bit of intensity into that one. Mick had a little bit of a smile on his face when I did that. He was a little confused about what was happening. We're heading back in. Had to have a rehost arise. I believe that was Raph had an illegal ash skin. He looked good, but not allowed, as we all know. So that's their rehost arise. Does not have that. We're back now to the 1-0 score line. Gunnerz in Paris up 1-0. Now, we saw in the round previously that it was... they're upset about it being one round. I'm not sure why.
That's just how it goes.
That's just how a rehearse works, yeah. So, now, Gunnerz in Paris had an interesting strategy in defense before, and they've obviously switched that one up here. Playing Castle, we have a Warden. Though we're finally getting the mirror pick. Just looking at the team right now, there's literally nothing but roamers except for Mirror and Castle. So they have 3 roamers and then 2 actual anchors.
That's
Now,
a drastic change from last time as well, because they were playing very defensive and very on site.
Attackers need to
Now they're just
locate
like-
and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I hope to see the Warden actually does roam. Now, I say Warden is a roamer, and I'm not sure why H17 just left. Their entire team, GIP, is adamant.
There's a round for a rise. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's not in the rules. It's in the rules that they do not get that round. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it 100% is. They don't get the round in that, but I don't know why they left. That if they come back, Gunnerz in Paris comes back, 'cause that's their rehost.
Right. I think they're just upset because they don't think that should work that way, but that's just how it works. So
I'm not sure why they are like this. Either way, we can continue to talk about what could have been an awesome round right there, because I really wanted that Warden and Mirror combination. So we have the Vector in the hands of Mirror, very fast fire rate with a 1.5.
Yep.
back on cam, by the way, just so.
Warden with the 1.5 scope and the MPX, which, by the way, best gun on the defensive side, in my opinion. It's just too much fun to use. The
You don't
reload
like-
animation could use work, but
You don't like the old slug shotties? You don't.
you
I
mean
mean, I
the
would.
AS12, ACS12?
Yes.
You know, I gotta say, I love the meme potential. I really love the way you can mess with that gun. But whenever I use it, I knock out full walls, and then I have no ammo to actually ever shoot anybody. So in my opinion, it's a great way to, as they call, open up the objective. But it's not good for any other.
I mean, that's what secondaries are for, dude. But then little slug shots just do a little boop, boy's dead. I mean, you don't need to sit there and straight up just like hold down accuracy or anything. You just gotta get lucky. It's like, think of a pistol, hey, like one tap people, but just like your primary does it anywhere in the body for the most part. Especially with these constant engagements going on, these guys getting pings on each other every here and there. By the time that they sit there and reach the final boss, that is the slug shotgun.
Mhm.
That point, just
walking down the hallway, and then you just start to hear Skyrim boss music in the background, and it's just you're like just not sure what's happening, no idea where to go from here, you know?
go and set all your macros to your newest dragon shout.
Yeah, I mean, what was that? What was that Connect game? We can just have a casual conversation about this. This is more fun at this moment as we're trying to figure out why
What?
Gunnerz and Parents backed out. or
Which
not.
one are you speaking about?
The Connect Skyrim, where you could actually shout your.
Oh,
your
yeah.
Get to
Dude, I
memorize
had
everything
that.
you're
It did not work for.
It was terrible. Yeah, but it was
Right.
interesting. Like you're sitting in your living room and you're
Yeah,
just
it was fun.
"Choo-cha," and then your dad's in the background going, "What?" And it's just a big argument. Like I'm not talking to you, and he's like, "Why are you talking to me?" It's just back and forth. I don't know why
Actually,
I make my
yeah.
dad sound like a granny, but
Yeah, Connect was just not really the best thing. I had was a Connect Adventures where you do like the little river rafting and stuff like that. And what happened was, like at the very end, you're supposed to like jump into a pose to get like bonus points going to
Yeah.
the final lap. Me and my sister were playing, and it was like in my room, and I have a ceiling fan, and she like at the time was like a solid maybe 8 inches taller than me. Sharp just jumped as the ceiling fan's going, just straight fan blade, knocks her in the back of the head. She's like, I'm done with this game. Never coming in this O again. I'm done with it.
I have an HTC Vive, and I remember I had moved my computer back when I lived in my hometown, right? I moved my
Yeah.
computer to a different area. Me and my dad had shared an office, so I moved to a different area into a wider room, so that I could have the VR set up in there a little bit more efficiently. And we had a giant hanging chandelier, like a really fancy chandelier. Don't know why it didn't fit in the house at all. It didn't fit in the room. Like it was so low, it hung so low
Just
that it would
bougie,
touch the
dude.
dinner table. We had to like raise it and tie it. So we got rid of it. We had to completely get rid of it because I kept smacking it and like like damaging the chandelier and my HTC Vive controller. So we had to move that, get rid of that, and then we put like a little titty bulb up on the ceiling.
A little titty bulb.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times
Heck
I
yeah.
was just
I
inches
feel
from
that,
shattering
man.
it.
We're flexing that in the college house, a little titty bulb. Nice little nipple up there for you.
Yours is a bit of a D. Mine was a bit of a B cup. You know, it was a
Oh.
little bit smaller. So it was harder to hit, but the ceiling wasn't that tall anyways. I don't
Yeah.
consider myself a tall guy. I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Don't forget the 3/4.
I just say 6. I just round it up
You
because
round
it's
it- are you
less
5'11"?
syllables.
Are you
Yeah, I'm
5'11"?
5'11".
All right,
I'd say 5'11 and a half, so I can round up, but
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
how the metric system works. But
Nobody cares.
I
Like
didn't-
literally, like that quarter of an inch doesn't matter to anybody more than
No.
somebody who's 5'11".
No.
Most important person in the world is that last inch because it just means it means the world. I know a lot of men like to over exaggerate by an inch or two, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. But in size, like in height, it's a little bit different.
You
You're
just
gonna
gotta say 6 though, man.
Yeah,
You
I
just
feel
gotta
like
go ahead and get in the habit of it.
I feel like I could be that guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm 6 foot. Then the second I meet like say you're on like Tinder or something, right? You meet a girl, you're like, I'm 6 foot. Then she shows up and she goes, you don't look 6 foot. I go, well, she called me out. That's it. It's over, boys. It's just catfish, you know. I'm catfishing her.
I
by
don't
that,
look 6 foot.
quarter
It's
of an
like,
inch.
well, you don't like your 6 foot either. We're in the same shoes now, aren't we? Yeah. On the same playing field now, ain't we? What's up?
I don't think she was ever trying to be 6 foot.
We were neither. We just are. I can't help but look like it.
Listen.
If I had to choose, I look like, I don't know, Chadwick Boseman, Brad Pitt, I don't know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm gonna
like
go Chris Pratt. That's what I'm
Matthew
going.
McConaughey. Like I'd choose. I
Matthew
mean,
McConaughey? Yeah, it's all right.
I sit there and go smoke peyote in like the ancient woods. Did you hear about that? He sat there and on Barstool's podcast. He sat there and wrote a whole peyote experience. And
That
apparently, like, you don't even need to buy it because he went on Barstool podcast and just sat there and talked about the whole thing. It's like, well, you just sat there and robbed yourself of money. Good job, dude. I mean, you're an actor, so I mean, it's not like you need it, but
Yeah, I mean, what's it with Jared Leto, right? He like starred as the Joker in Justice League, and then now he has a cult in like the Bahamas or something like that. Like, man is living a whole new level of like life. It's pretty
he's
intriguing.
God now. He is God at this point.
Yeah,
To some people.
he's brought himself to a higher tier of existence, and by higher tier, I mean he's getting a lot of money from his cultists.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one picture of him at like this Broadway show or something like that. It wasn't Broadway, sorry. It was a catwalk show, like
Yeah.
and stuff.
Like red carpet or something.
Yeah. And so there's this person that came down, a model that came down the catwalk, and they were wearing a just green shirt, basically, but it was like a giant dress. And he looks at that, and his face in the picture was like so excited about it. And then literally,
He's just
like,
imagining like the macro potential. He's like, imagine if that was in Twitch. He'd be in space right now.
he went to like a month later. There's a picture of him walking down the street with that outfit. He bought the outfit and wore it. He actually liked that outfit. It was like you see like these catwalk things, and you're like,
Yeah.
who would ever wear that? Jared Leto. That's it. That's their intended audience. They sell one of those and they've made profit. So that's really all it's for.
It's actually amazing though. Like guys who wear women's clothing sometimes. Like, was it an actual like women's dress?
No, I'll pull it up. Jared Leto. Green coat. It's like a giant coat. Here, all right, I'll pull it up.
Oh, it's more like a trench coat.
Yeah, it was like a giant trench coat. I can. Pull
Oh,
it up.
okay. Then it just fits in his role. Okay, I thought you were talking about like a dress.
If it'll load here, it should take.
I've seen a lot of OBS going on right there.
Yeah, you know, that's how it is. I
He's
can't
trying to
like. Why is it loading the
monetize
Huffington Post? I don't get
SFCL.
it.
Well, they're still protesting things, so I'm gonna just go to a break
they-
until we have this figured out.
They're protesting.
That's how it's going. So we'll be right back.
It's like for the street.
welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about what just happened. So, Arise had an Ash skin, I believe it was Raph. He had an Ash skin that was not allowed. That is obviously a rehost. So, that is a rehost in place. The rules books has it set for I believe it's supposed to replay the round when it's called out.
Yeah.
They're calling to pause the match. Can you pause it real fast, Wes? You can pause on the top right when you hit options. Hit options.
You're not able to do it during the
Pause match.
pick phase, I'm guessing.
You can only do
Oh,
it during this
see
stage.
here.
Yeah. So here's how it works. You know, if a rehost gets called and they're called in the middle of the match, and the players are aware, they're made aware of that. It's a rehost. It's set in stone. Even Gunnerz in Paris, the other ones who called it. Gunnerz in Paris did not like when it got put to 1-0. They left, and so we came into a situation. There's a lot of arguing in the Discord. So we are making it 2-0. We are calling it 2-0 in this situation, even though it was called in-game chat. They're calling it 2-0. Tofu is getting into a conversation with one of the players in Arise, I believe. There is a lot of drama happening here. But the situation is basically Arise using illegal skin. Gunnerz in Paris called for the rehost during the round, at the beginning of the round. I think it was after 1, maybe 2 frags. Rehost was set in stone. It was going to happen. Set the rehost. Scoreline went back to the 1-0, still in favor of Gunnerz. Gunnerz didn't like that, disconnected, everyone left. Drama ensues in the Discord. Tofu states, whatever, we'll make it 2-0. And here we are. Still drama. That doesn't change, but... So, as we are waiting this out, let's talk about Jared Leto again. Mans is crazy. I mean... So
I mean, he plays his part.
Well,
He carries it with him.
We Jokers have the character Joker. The actors who play it have a method acting kind of idea behind it.
Yeah.
You know, Heath Ledger went really far into it and eventually became mentally unstable, and he took his own life from playing that method role of the Joker. And Jared Leto also supposedly went pretty deep into method acting for it. His Joker was not well received though. Not at all.
Which, I mean, I kind of understand going from somebody who takes it so critically to somebody who, you know, they kind of got to tone it down for like past experiences with things that went on. So, I mean, I kind of get it, but I mean, dude just bought into it as best he could.
I believe we are ready. I think they're ready. So, obviously, let's talk about this in regards
switch it up once again.
In regards to what just went down, Arise is going to play their butts off. They're going
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
They're mad at it. They're upset. There's no way
Located
not
by
going
attackers.
to play their hearts out. Really proud of victory here.
Which I'm pretty sure they're hoping they win this, otherwise.
I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to continue. I mean, the match isn't over. We got, 4 more rounds for like it's settled. For the most part, everything just seems to be balanced
10
out.
seconds to go.
But,
So let's talk about
5 seconds.
the operators, right? So
Yeah.
the drama, and hopefully it doesn't get super.
Attackers are heading out to defuse the bomb.
So let's start with the operators. Of course, seeing Zafia in play, the Ash, of course, as well. Rana, Gridlock, and Jackal. This is one of the same things we noticed earlier. We're going to see the Jackal and the Gridlock down there. Rotation support to cut those off. Defense, we see Jaeger, Mute, Wamai, Goyo, Castle. So Castle we saw get picked earlier as well before they left. Goyo we saw earlier as well. The Wamai we have not seen yet. We have 2 people to shut down any gadgets that are thrown, so that's a lot of potential for GIP in regards to shutting down hard pushes. But there are no nades in play for Arise. So quickly.
with how they played this last time, do you feel like once they get a breach, they're going to sit there and plant very quickly as they did last time with the same exact layout? Or do you feel like knowing they have the Wamai, they're going to slow it down a little bit and play it more procedurally? Because, I mean, we see... Gridlock in the back, just Chorizo just kind of hanging out, finally making a rotate here. Do you feel like they're going to go aggressive as much as they can and get that push and get that quick plan off, knowing it didn't exactly work as well as they wanted it to last time? Or do you feel like they're going to go more for a pit kind of style of play this time?
I'm not sure. We obviously noticed that they're playing a little bit slower. They haven't just rushed yet. Price did get a
Attackers have located a bomb.
down at the very beginning, but they actually managed to save time from VIP. And there's another frag. Thanks to Rice
Drop the
really
bomb
showing
in
up in this one. Now down to the
Yep.
second
Have
situation.
recovered
Only
their
left
diffuser.
is Vezi. You have to clutch this one. Just spring through the smoke, trying to gather information. Of course, we know Jaeger has a very strong weapon, so this could be fairly close.
Attackers
Now,
are
here's
activating
gonna
the bomb
displacing
diffuser.
down the diffuser. That is down. It all really depends. They know he's in here. That's set. There's no way they can misconstrue that information.
They're
They've
just
got
holding
him
angles.
There's that shot at itself.
Yep, there it is.
Shuts that down. This is the round that Arise wanted, right? Coming back from the drama and the round loss and things like that. This is what they want. They want to have a great showing and show that, drama may happen, but we're here for a reason and we're here to win this one. So
Yep. We're here to play, not to talk.
mhm.
Once again, seeing another Ash. This Raph is really loving him, making sure as long as he's got the right skin on, they can play the game out, possibly win some rounds here. Once
Now-
again, seeing Frost and Echo as well too, with the Malusi switched out this time around.
I got switched for the gridlock. Chorizo, very strong on smoke. I think that was one of the reasons why they shut that. If I remember correctly, I think, no, they are switching back to the gridlock. Interesting. I know for a fact they really liked, Chorizo really liked smoke, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's Chorizo. Had a very good showing. So I'm looking
Attackers
forward
need
to
to
what
locate
they're
and
capable
defuse
of
bombs.
coming into again. Smoke's not in play in the defense. He's going to have to play mute. A completely different operator. That potential with smoke hitting on the objective. Which honestly, this isn't Clubhouse. This isn't Cafe.
Yeah.
There's a few less positions for smoke to be as viable, but he's still an annoying operator to deal with, which I can see.
Which surprisingly, it was correct me if I'm wrong. It was Gunnerz and Paris who actually banned this match, wasn't it?
I believe so. Did they have first ban? Because it was first ban, I believe.
They have first ban for offense and second ban for defense. That's how it lays out.
So they definitely banned
5 seconds remaining.
smoke first. They must have watched some of the old gameplay.
Attackers are moving out to
videos
locate a bomb and defuse
whoever
it.
it was. I'm
Attackers
pretty
have
sure
dropped the
Chorizo.
bomb diffuser.
So I
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
So, do you feel like that was more of a setup for them on the defense side, saying, maybe we should hold out, sit there, and once they get the defensive side, we can go ahead and establish ourselves on defense, and we don't utilize smoke all that much? Or do you feel like it was more of a just kind of or do you feel like they frag too much with it so they can sit there and kind of, those early rounds, make sure they get that lead and just kind of capitalize off this moment and just go ahead and get them in a position where they feel like they don't win this game?
I mean, you've got to think about it in multiple views. There's a lot of ways to think about that. I think you're entirely right. They have to have a lot behind it. Hockey drops the first frag. That's a good kill for them.
A bomb
Right
has
into
been
the game,
located.
the Malusi no longer has that range. But you got to think about it. The whole point of that is to slow the pace of the game, to slow down everything in the process. And look what they've had to do to counter that. Like what they've done for one operator, one single person smoke. They had to replace it with both the Frost and the
Attackers
Echo.
dropped the diffuser.
They had used
Attackers
two operator
recovered the
picks where
diffuser.
smoke could do it. That is a huge, it's slowing down the pace. You got to be careful for the Frost match as you step in. You got to be worried about that. The Malusi also slows down, but that's a normal pick anyways. The
Yeah.
Echo is a great person to shut that down, even though it basically is going to get shot after one use because of the way it's been nerfed. That's how they're playing. You can see actually the diffuser goes down. Mirror's Milk is planting that one away, taking shots. There's the kill there as it goes
Attackers
in
are
favor
activating
of the
the bomb.
defensive side. GIP getting that one in the hands of H17. Now down to the 4v4 situation. The diffuser is planted. Vexy on the backside trying to get a kill as Raph drops down 2 here, getting another frag for his side. When Vexy goes down, that's the other side. Another kill as Gridlock drops that one now down to the 3v1. Zori has to clutch this one up, and he is inside of Hookah trying to hold down the staircase. It is not looking good for them right now in a 3v1 situation. There's the shot. Zori very low, but they managed to drop Raph. Now it's down to the 2v1 as Raph is out for the count. Will have to be picked up. I think there's somebody nearby, but I'm not too sure about that. And there it goes as Chorizo shuts that one down.
Man, Arise coming to play now.
They did not like what was going on. Nice flick action.
Those dudes said nada to the drama, man. They said after that, all right, look, no sir. All right, you gonna do this?
Well, we'll make it 2-2. They're following.
They said, yep. They said, I'll get back behind my keyboard and mouse, and I'll show you where the real talking goes. We'll finish this out. Really stepping up here. Switching out again for the Maestro and the Goyo. seeing how that worked the other match. They didn't exactly get the chance to play the whole round out, but we're seeing, a Rise run the same exact setup, getting a
Attackers need to
little bit
locate and
predictable
defuse
here,
as
but,
many bombs
winning
as
every
they
map,
can.
especially with what it was a 3v1 last round. I think they're establishing themselves well enough to where, even if they do get a hold of it, they're hoping at least to put it into 1v1 if they sit there and read them right or something like that, because they just can't seem to be countering this right now.
I really think GIP is struggling there. They managed to get the little victories, especially the early ones. And now they're really having to fight the backward angles. And, when tensions can get high, players tend to play a little bit better, play more into their own side. We're seeing a lot of that with the Rise, and GIP was not expecting this. Now, Kitchen is an entirely different side. We know that Sledge was banned. That was taken out, so there's no way that Sledge is going to be played in this upstairs objective. So
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and
not have to
defuse
worry
it.
about that, as we don't see anyone that can really breach that besides the breaching charges in the hands of Ash, as well as her ability itself, and Zophia's 2 impacts. So we see some availability to knock out some of the floors, but there really isn't enough to explicitly worry about it more than usual.
Seeing a lot of kind of roof rolling here, which is usually to be expected. A lot of angles to sit there and cut off on. A lot of easy picks out there. We see a lot of guys sitting there just kind of sticking to it. Oh, but Hockey getting a pick right there. Impressive little shot from him on the head.
Early again. That is the second round back-to-back that Hockey really, put the first kill in the team. He may not stay alive as long as the others, but they gets trickly traded back. Kayusuku gets that frag. A lot of trading. Again, we're seeing them hold this bathroom side. Hockey is using that impact to get rid of that shield, which is a Goyo shield. He knows he's there, and there's that shot, shutting that one down. Frost using that SMG with a 1.5. Taking that one out, now down to the 3v5.
Attackers dropped the
Kayusuku did take
diffuser.
some damage, but Best shows a little bit more damage onto Mirror's Milkers, taking them out for the count.
Not moving as fast as they usually do here. I think usually they sit there and kind of taking things by force. A lot of collective pushes. Right here, they're doing a lot of kind of
Bomb has
ledge
been
looking,
located.
a lot of kind of peeking from slow angles, and not exactly, Hockey seemed like the front man for that kind of situation. But once he got shut down, it seems like they lost their momentum here, especially, thinking he was going to win that Frost fight with getting the impact on the shield, Frost sticking around, getting hit by it, all kinds of little mistakes going there. But somehow Paris is still trying to pull this out as best they can, put themselves back into a lead where they can feel confident, kind of carry this out as best they can, especially being in that, kitchen side. Not being exactly the best, but, being strong nonetheless for one side or the other, as long as you sit there and get that plan.
Now, Gunnerz really needed a round under their belt here. They struggled the last 2 rounds back-to-back. That was all went towards a Rise. They need a little bit of that confidence boost. Now, this is a huge boost for them right now. 1v4 situation could be dangerous for Rise. Statistically speaking, this is a loss in their book, but they do have 45 seconds, and Chorizo is a threat to be reckoned with in the hands of Gridlock. We've seen a lot of Chorizo recently in the league. So here's the bullet hole coming through. Not unusual. You see a lot of Maestros hanging back there. I believe it actually is a Rise that likes to put a Maestro back there when they're on the defensive side. So we'll see that possibly coming in. But they are going to force
By
there
attackers.
any defenders on the actual objective itself to shut down any push. But Chorizo is taking it extremely slow. Maybe just playing for exit frags.
15 seconds left.
Because they do not have the diffuser. Diffuser is upstairs, so they
10
have
seconds
this
to go.
round just under lock right now.
5 seconds
This is a
remaining.
different game. He'd sit there and be playing for Econ, but sadly that's not a factor in
Operators,
all
you are out
Rainbow
of time.
Six. So, not fast enough to get up there. Can't exactly manage something, especially with Gridlock being such a slow operator, not being able to make those rotates as quick. And, as big and beautiful as she is, she makes a lot of noise getting around. So,
One single jump through a window or jumping out a window, and it's a tsunami on the other side of the world. I mean,
yep.
she is a unit. Some would say she has a very loud set of mobility. Now, Wes, I'm seeing chat once again is talking about game audio being louder than the casters. But let's take a look at the next operator set. Of course, seeing Nomad. This could be another 6 switch over to the Gridlock herself, and I think it is going into place. There it is. Malusi, Frost, Echo, Mute, Jaeger. We're seeing a very normalized lineup. Of course, no smoke replaced with the Mute. Echo has been a little bit strange pink, but I've actually seen Echo more on Coastline. Very, very popular pick on Coastline. A lot of viability in that, mostly because it's 2 set hallways in regards to each side. So one on each side or one close to each side can really give a lot of information or even just slow down any push. Now, one person I haven't seen a lot from and I really would like to is Mirror's Milkers. They had a couple crazy rounds before, especially here on Coastline. Just haven't seen anything in depth. 0 kills, 0 assists. Just haven't really that much going for them.
Wall secured.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So once again, some audio settings. We're now set to 40
10
for the
seconds to
game.
go.
Hopefully that'll be enough. Please, chat, let us know if that is not
5 seconds
low
left.
enough or if casters themselves are not loud enough. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah, well, we got
Attackers
plenty
are
of
moving
dials
to
here to
defuse the
play
bomb.
with on our end, so we can figure it out on our half.
Now, defensive side, when they're reinforcing and getting up for this side, now we don't usually see a reinforcement on that south side wall. As we can see directly in front of us here, there's no reinforcement on the south side wall. Next to forward, there is only one single hole in the wall on the north side there. What has happened here?
Looks looking like a rehost.
I don't know where the rehost is coming into play or why it's coming into play, as Gunnerz had already used their rehost as far as I was aware.
Technically, it counted as a continuation, and it was wrong because Danny did rule with Gunnerz, so it wouldn't have costed them their rehost because it should have been fixed. That's just I know that's just the technicalities of it. I'm not gonna say one way or another. That's just
Why
how
was
it
the
is.
rehost called? Do you know why?
Because someone disconnected. 817 disconnected. So.
Okay, all right, well, that's the rehost in play.
We'll just go to our faces for now as I get this set up again.
So my first match casting for this league in regards to the actual season opening was Dexterity versus, I don't remember who it was, but Dexterity was in play. And we, of course, had a new observer in play who had never observed before. He was actually a caster, so he was responsible for casting and observing. Now, it was nowhere near as complicated as it is now, but there was a lot of technical complications in that one. And somehow, I guarantee this game is going to last longer than that one is. The amount of technical problems we're having right now is crazy. This is basically 3 hosts, but we're counting it as 2 rehosts, 1 for each side on map 1 alone.
Right.
This
time it's not tech difficulties though; it's more
it's
game
just,
ruling technicalities.
It's just difficulties, right?
You
Like-
gotta think about the community at this point. You know, we said they were supposed to start earlier, and
And stuff.
now
There's a lot.
now we're gonna be having a late dinner, man. 7 turns to 8, 8 turns to 9. Next thing you know,
in terms of this, the league runs in EST, right? So it's 10 o'clock for a lot of these players.
yeah. Goodness gracious!
guess
You
it's
know
a-
what? I should just come over there. We'll just sit there and co-host, same mic and everything. You can bleep me, I can bleep you.
I'll bring my setup over to the university. We can all chill down in the basement.
I got an extra bedroom. We're good. We don't have
got
to
an
sleep
extra
together.
bedroom? All right. That'll work out as long as we don't have to sleep together. Not that I wanted to.
Oh, that's a shame.
All right, we'll bring it up later. All right, now moving on from.
Moving on. Yeah, we'll get that out of the way.
You can tell me and make it along pretty well. So technical difficulties in regards of the players. There's a lot of difficulties going around. Wes has done a great job hosting this so far. Really proud. I think this is your first time hosting with this current setup for observing, right?
Yeah.
This is going well so far. It's very
Yeah,
good.
he's doing a good job for how much he's having to remake and moderate things. Like
Not very
good
much
gracious.
I haven't heard a
man.
word from him in between when the mic's going off. We've just kind of chatted a little bit.
I think
about-
that's just why he's like. I think at this point he's just like fed up. That's why he's saying he's just like.
I'm just tired,
"Oh,
man.
just
It's
give
been a
me-
long
give
day.
me- give me
All right,
the-
I need some help with the round recap, boys.
Okay.
So they
Two-
1
It
2
was
2
2-2.
and then
3-2. No, the third round completed. It was 3-2.
okay,
Because,
and it was
3-2.
Orange
Okay,
won that.
yeah.
The 2v2
Orange won
on the 2v2.
upstairs, right?
Yep. The
Was it
last
upstairs?
round win was for Gunnerz in Paris, and it was on
Billiards
kitchen.
defense or is
was it
kitchen? Oh, I almost had that
Street
wrong.
had to make the rotate all around.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. He got to the objective, and he didn't have diffuser.
Oops, I need to remove that. There we go. So it's only 3-2 right now, right? We just reset the last round.
3-2. I'll message
Okay.
in chat.
Cool.
Actually, no,
I
yeah.
think we should be good.
I'm looking at the stream right now.
I think we should be good.
now.
Yeah, it was 3-2 Paris.
And the last defense that they just won was downstairs. You're saying in kitchen?
In kitchen. That's
I
the
think
one I
so.
want. I'm trying to see if H17 leaves here. I think he does. I
Yeah,
think this is the one.
that makes sense. Okay, I think we're good then.
I think H17 disconnected during the time at which you had the menu up. I could be wrong about that.
We'll see right here on our stream recap.
Yeah, it is 3-2. Their last round they started was in hookah and in billiards, but they didn't complete the round. So it is 3-2.
H17 is Echo. Yep, Echo is H17. He was the first one to disconnect.
That's the place. So there we go. Again, sorry everybody for all the rehosts and everything going on. We're gonna get plenty of action. We're gonna get plenty of action with me shoutcasting. Not gonna make back at the commentary. Absolutely love having him here. Great experience for him in the first place. I know R6 isn't his main focus for casting or anything of the sorts, but he does a good job with him, I think.
I try, so I appreciate any praise, as subtle as it may be.
Any insults as well, really just give it to him,
Yeah,
Make sure you get
constructive criticism, I'm here for it. Call me literally just a living piece of garbage, and I get it.
Yeah,
I'll just put some Febreze on it, and I'll be a good-smelling piece of garbage at least. I'll do it my best.
Garbage, but, smelly, good smelling garbage. We're in college. We can understand these. We can take these. We've been on the planet long.
All right, everyone's back, so let's double check before.
I think they were in kitchen that pass around as well. So I don't know what you had it set for.
They were in hookah. They'll set that themselves though. They were in hookah.
Okay, yeah.
Because they won on kitchen, so they couldn't go there again.
Skip gonna respond to me.
They are ready, and we will be set and stone to go.
All right, how about I make any mistakes here? That's the real question.
Back again, one swing count. I'm just messing with you guys. Arise versus GIP bomb once again. This is 3-2 scoreline. And we're back under the defense once again for GIP. This is their last one. And we'll see how this one goes. We're going to see same lineup in regards to them. Same ops, same place. Kaiusoku is not doing the same operator. I don't think it's required to have the same operator.
I don't think so either.
But, I mean, honestly, right now the roles are really strange.
And he's switching out, so it seems as if he's, yep.
So, this is still first map for all of you that are confused. We may be an hour in, but it's still first map, and yes, there's only been 5 rounds. So,
just pretend it's like...
You'll be here for the next hour and a half as we continue the next ones. Whoever wins this one, I'm sure everybody's going to be hoping it's a straight, 2-map win. So we don't have to go to the overtime on the 3rd map and go to that. But it might go to that. We'll see how it goes. Normalized setup here for this. Of course, we're seeing a mute instead of the smoke in play. Usually you'd see smoke hiding behind the B objective right there. Instead, we're seeing the smoke now breaching out that hole. They put the mute jammer on that doorway. This is mostly just to shut down a lot of drones for utility information. There's really no point in any of their capacity. It's not there to shut down the hard breach. It's not there to shut down, Jackal on a rotate. It's just for cutting out that information, which is highly important. We do actually see that.
5 seconds.
What happened to Vezi?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, but I wasn't gonna cut you off. I'm kind of confused about that as well.
What happened?
I mean, both rehosts are out the door now, so whatever did happen, it's done.
Tabbing real fast, if you can do that. We can see if it was maybe a TK, if that is what came into play.
That's what it's looking like, otherwise he'd be out of the lobby as of right now.
It was indeed Kaiusoku he did team kill there. So they started this one getting the rehost because they didn't want to play a man down, and they're still playing a man down anyways.
Oh my goodness gracious,
situational irony or just things are going quite strange.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But we're seeing Hockey once again up top. We see 2 quick frags from him back-to-back, 2 rounds back-to-back, getting an early pick. Not happening in this situation. Godville taking a hidden play this time.
I mean, we had an early pick. It was just,
We're getting another one as Raph drops that frag. I mean, technically we got an early pick. Which side would you count that for? Would you say that's a Rise's early pick or GIP's early pick?
I would say GIP, Give it to the man. Give credit to the man.
What else are we going to do except call what the scoreboard is? I mean, do you think we know how to play the game?
We're just here. I mean, we saw how the admin caster game went on Sunday. I mean look at what we do.
Yeah. Now, apparently admins know what they're doing more, but that is Chorizo with that headshot with the gridlock, taking out, I believe that was H17. using a drone. They don't have the mute in apparently a good enough spot to shut down all drones, or maybe they shot that out before. It is a 2v5 situation. Oh, just scratch that one out as Zori drops a kill into Hockey. Now it's a 2v4 situation. That is an early frag that they need. Kairosoku taking a very, very pixel peek right there, but the information is being called out for the attacking side. There's from below, there's the shots they need. Kairosoku's in a bad spot. He gets a spray through the wall, doesn't connect, but it's extremely close. Action going, Kairosoku gets dropped by Arise. That is a good frag for Mirror's Milkers. Now down to the 1v4 situation, and there it goes. Mirror's Milkers with a 2K to end that one off. Zori getting fragged out in return as well. Now, Type 99, great rifle. It has about 22 bullets in it. It's terrible. You've got to hit your shots. I always find anyone who can play a bottom at such a high level of skill. It's impressive. It's hard. I mean,
they have like a just kind of like one of those mouse bungees, but they have like their mouse set to like inverted, kind of like you're piloting a plane in Battlefront or something, or Battlefield.
They've inverted their.
They just drag down and just let go with the mouse held down to just compensate for that recoil.
They just let the bungee pull it back up.
Exactly.
Perfect. Now we are seeing the map switch up, but we're seeing a completely different strategy in terms of at least two of these operators on the defensive side, and also two of the operators on the attacking side. We'd love to see some variety. We're seeing the Maestro and Legion. We saw Maestro a little bit earlier, but he hasn't been really picked heavily. Not shocked to see Mirror's Milkers. I believe that he played Maestro consistently before. We are seeing Chorizo no longer on the smoke, but on the mute. Something I had called something that I believe is probably going to happen based on his smoke play. In terms of attackers, we're seeing three main ones, Nomad, Ash, and Jackal. That's going to be the main trio. But we also see the Yana, which we almost never see here.
Yo, that's what I'm excited for.
The Buck pick is, I guarantee, mostly in play for Kitchen. That's where Buck's going to play. He doesn't have his nades anymore, but we have Yana with nades. And I think that's what Yana's mostly here for. She's got good guns, and she's got grenades in pocket.
She's also solid. Yeah, it makes her good intel, though, as well. I mean, you can't sit there and deny the fact that she can literally run wherever. Even if it's fake, you know, get the defenders there on their, get them on their toes a little bit, get them scared, make them feel like, you know, get a call out made or something like that, bamboozle them for a little bit, and get them to rotate in a way where, you know, it's leaving GIP here in a little situation to sit there and kind of rotate themselves on a different kind of, allocate themselves a little differently, you know, just kind of throw some curveballs over here and there, you know, if GIP sits there and puts Arise, I don't know, but put them in a situation where they gotta like kind of mix it up.
I think there was the old quote is something like when talking about facing different countries in world wars. I think it was something around the point of nobody could face off against America because not even America knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
I think that may be a strategy GIP is taking into play here. Their name may be Gunnerz in Paris, but they're taking a book out of the American strategy book and really just switching it up here and turning the game on its head in terms of operator choice with the Yana pick.
I love the past tense there too. You said didn't know what they were doing. We still know what we're doing, man. Come on.
I don't disagree.
But we see books that are good gracious, what is my vocals doing? But we see
Buck. We're pronouncing a lot here.
Old Buck, old doe.
You know how close that is? That is a man not paying attention as Mirror's Milkers is right above where that got busted. There's the shot goes in return as H17 finally drops down Mira. That is a very close pick as he got hurt and down to just 29-ish HP right there. Sick frag there for H17. That was extremely close to being a one-sided encounter. Now,
see how they take more damage here. And then H17, we saw Kaisoku. He's taking a pretty slow approach here for a man having an ability where he can pop it whenever, kind of refresh it pretty quickly, but getting a pick nonetheless. Holding down those angles, making sure that H17 here, he's kind of held down, making sure he doesn't get a pick from the side or anything, especially with that low health count.
Now, Buck playing from below is something that's, I would say, fairly rare. It's very difficult to play from below because, you know, playing above has a more of an advantage. As Godville drops a frag there. Now, Arai struggling right now on attack. On defense, as it's now a 2v4 situation as Zoe starts planting the diffuser. There's that shot. Chorizo managed to stay alive in that situation, but it is very close right now. There's 3 players damaged for the attacking side for GIP, and it's not looking good for defense as well. The shot's going, he tries to back away. They're playing from below. Buck could be a very dangerous situation. The entire floor is taken out. There's that shot. Sick headshot going down. Chorizo chopping down Zori. Now down to the 3v2 as Chorizo is half HP, but the players below are not looking good as well. Vexy shuts down Chorizo, and that's that as well as he gets the double. shut down Sifty as he got knocked back by that Nomad utility.
The Nomad right there, that was a play. They kind of gave him away. He could have sat there and looked to actually get something out of it if he wanted to rotate high enough. But issue is when you have the bomb planted down, you're really put on a timer there. You get scared, you get hectic, you try to do as much as you can. But that Nomad just kind of shut all that down. As soon as you hear that explosion go off, whole team's going to sit there and rush it, swing it, lock it down, making sure that he can't do anything at that point.
They're going to get in there. They're going to pop it. They're going to lock it. They're going to polka dot it. I mean, there's a lot of things going on for them.
Full Hannah Montana combo going on.
Yeah, they're
here.
really going in on that. Yeah. I'm looking forward actually to this round specifically because I didn't get to see too much of the Yana pick, and we're obviously seeing Chorizo back on the mute. We're seeing a Mozzie in play. We saw a ton of drones around the Yana at the beginning of the round. They chunked all of them on that balcony. If a mute can play
Defenders,
there, and
protect your bombs
if they have
from being
any
defused
idea
by
that they were
attackers.
there, then you can play that accordingly because it's the same objective. I mean, you're trying to shut down a lot of those kills.
Or even a Mozzie. He could sit there and save that utility for later on. Maybe you sit there and kind of, somebody's on the bottom floor, he could rotate that out rather than sitting there and, kind of getting a teammate to push it or peek it just in case, not to put Maestro in that same position where he has to rotate around like that.
I think Maestro really needs to place one of his gadgets on top of the bar here in the south side room. I think that would actually be a good strategy for him in terms of placement. He needs to put one in Puka and one over there because once they're on the objective or A side, there really is no stopping that, in my opinion. They can just get behind bomb, and it just comes down to gunplay. We do see he places one behind the pool underneath the window, which isn't bad because he can shoot underneath and get the foot, but he has to stay alive long enough to do that. So we're going to need to see him move to a new location as this last one got snuffed out very early on.
I'm seeing Nomad here with kind of making a front push. Usually you see her as a flank. It's kind of interesting to see, but each player their own, kind of going to the bottom floor, not realizing, exactly seeing that bomb. Kind of taking a different approach, a very slow, methodical approach here, going to the bottom, but
H17 swung on the other side of the map, not going into that library. He's instead starting inside tower room and heading towards that lower bar, which is obviously different. He had gone underneath and was sitting inside that office space, inside library, and getting rid of that Maestro that was sitting. He probably realizes that there is a roamer. That drone is spotting that one out. Hockey is in a bit of a tough situation. We know Hockey has played a Jaeger a lot in terms of stats. He's got a good setup for that, but he's stats right now not looking good. He's 0-2. Never mind, 1-0-2. Wanting to show me up. The buck is out for the count here. That is a kill for him, and that's a very, very important one because that buck was absolutely detrimental to their side in that last round.
Being a little bit of disruptive force here, kind of going off by himself. A little bit of a bold move, hang tight, especially with him last time, having Iana. Someone to sit there and not exactly drone out, but get intel, make sure he stays talking, things like that. I can see him, being a wild card this time around, but unfortunately for GIP here, it didn't exactly work in their favor.
Yeah, so in terms of this round right now, we see the Ashes below trying to take out a little bit more of that floor, and it is going to damage the player up there. The Mozzie is about 47 HP, and there's that shot goes down. Vexy taking advantage of the lower side and taking out Sifty. They're both their names. Very difficult to actually do. I think it's actually Vizzy. I keep saying Vexy, I don't know why, but Godville tanking out on the outside of this window. We used to see Blackbeards play here, but the Blackbeard was banned, if I remember correctly. Very strong choice. There's Hockey with another frag shutting down Vezi, and there's Godville shutting down Chorizo. The mute out for the count now. The SMG not able to get the shots off in time to shut down Godville, but Godville is a little bit flash from his own teammate.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
There's Sori going down as well. That's a good shot straight through the floor using their own breaches below against them. Raph takes that one. I'm sorry, Hockey took that one, but we do have Raph below. It's now up to a 1v3 situation. Hockey is extremely low, but he's had a great showing. 3 frags. Will they go for the 4K? Will they play safe? They probably should play safe. Ian is a very, very dangerous operator to try and face off against.
Really bad play by Jackal from there, going into the window, not exactly having anybody to back him up there, just more of like a rogue move here. And, not having anybody to capitalize, get a trade or anything like that. Putting him in a really weird situation where a 1v2, especially with Hockey having such low health, that could have been doable, but, putting him in that situation where it's a 2v1, and, because excluding Hockey, who's at low health, hoping he can sit there and get that quick pick, that's a really tough situation to be put into, and, kind of a bad play on Jackal and a Rise at that point.
Now, I think Jackal on that window
Or
could have
GIP, I
worked out.
apologize.
It,
Yeah.
it could have worked out for them, but like you said, they weren't able to capitalize. He had no backup in that situation. What he needed to do was to hold that window and keep holding it, but unfortunately, he did get team flashed as his team went inside to plant the diffuser, and the barbed wire gave the audio cue that they needed, or say Arise needed to shut that down. Just not well played by GIP. It just didn't go in their favor. I think that if they're going to put somebody in the outside window, you should probably use someone like Buck in that situation. Unfortunately, he died
Mhm.
early.
And I think that was the difference.
I think that entirely changed the pace of the game. You had to use your Ash breaching charges on the floor below to get one frag, and in the process,
Attackers
you weren't
need to
able to destroy
locate
all
and
the barbed
defuse
wire
as
as
many
effectively
bombs
as
as
you
they
needed to with those breaching charges, and that gave away the audio cue to get killed.
As well, just as a whole, that's just how GIP played that last round when they sat there and went from 2 to 3, differently from when they went from or from 3 to 4 comparatively. You know, sitting there, they had groups. They had Kaisoku over there with Buck. They sat there and, you know, had Jackal with, you know, with the other two guys kind of all pushing the same general area compared to, you know, having so many guys kind of over to the side, you know, playing their own little games, making their little wild card plays and playing the disruption game. But all in all, they need to
5
get those
seconds to go.
trades. So as long as they have to sit there and be really relying on their teammates to sit there and get those picks.
Attackers' objective is to locate a
Otherwise,
bomb and
if you don't
defuse
get those trades, you're going to be putting your teammates in a really bad situation there. So, you know, just for Arise to be put in a situation where they have as many guys as they do, and GIP not to get as many clips, that should be assigned to them at this point, where they need to be playing a little more grouped up and probably, you know, getting those trades as much as they can, because that's what made the difference in round going from 3 to 4.
Now, I think this round's going to be an entirely different story, however, as if Buck in the sorry, I'm just completely blanking on her name right now. Drone Lady Kaisoku. If H17 and Kaisoku can stay alive, I don't know why I'm blanking on her name right now. I'm genuinely struggling. There's Raph for the first frag, though. H17, right as I spoke about it, goes down. They desperately needed H17 and Kaisoku on the second floor inside. They're holding that to get that overhead view on the objective. That is gone. The nades not able to be thrown as effectively. They're going to have to bring either Godville with breaching charges or the Ash with a breaching charge, Vezi. They're going to need to bring them in and do it now, which is a huge waste of the utility where they could use it elsewhere. This could be the swinging point once again for Arise. The huge difference right now is we see that the stat line is even, and the kills and everything else in between is even as well. The main difference we're seeing between, oh my god,
Wow.
Shot at the last second, the last bullet flicked with the very last bullet in the magazine, getting that kill finished off. As I'm saying, the one difference we're seeing in favor of Arise recently has been that their picks that they do give are detrimental to GIP. And there's a pick for GIP just as I was talking about.
Godville, baby.
That is a huge frag, shutting down Chorizo, the mute out for the count. That is a huge person you usually see hiding behind the bomb. We have the Maestro there instead right now. Kaisoku droning out. It's weird to say that as they run around, but droning that one out.
Godville really showing up.
Yeah.
Sitting there, getting that pick, getting that lucky, you know, that even out with that last bullet in the magazine, especially getting through a wall. You know, it was great communication on GIP's behalf. And they're getting those pings down, making sure they communicate that and getting that last shot. And, you know, putting Godville in a situation where he's out here, you know, now going positive, make sure to get these frags. Putting his teammate in a positive situation, getting that also second pick off on smoke. Like, he's really out here, especially in this round. He's showing up to play with this Jackal right about now.
And he's desperately needed to, as the last few rounds haven't exactly gone in the favor of GIP. They were up 2-0, and it's now tied 4-4. Godville does have a good angle. The Maestro desperately needs to be careful. Mirrors Milkers could be very much so caught out, as we see Zori is holding out on this, I believe that was east side. It could be south side doorway. There's the drone. Vezi getting a lot of information they desperately need. The ping is probably put in place. Zoro has a very good position to plant the diffuser. Frags drop. Raph and Sippy getting 2 frags back to back, but Kaisoku does not let that one stand. Also fragging return. 2v2. It goes. He drops that frag. That is huge for them right there. Raph with a triple kill. It gets the last one. That's a 4K, I believe. I could be incorrect about that. Holy crap. That is a huge finish for Raph right there.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser. Defenders win.
That is one of the first times we've actually seen. We've seen 2 of them so far today, but it's very rare to see the diffuser planted and then defused. They were just not able to get away from the bomb before Raph. Raph, absolute 10,000 IQ, able to push that one and make it so they weren't able to step off, and even to get the second frag as well from the player outside. Great tight angle for them. They're going to have trouble with that again. You see, Chorizo is playing Casa, which I think is smart because the 1.5 is a very strong scope. But I have seen that in the chat. They're talking about it occasionally. Stream is freezing. I've not been noticing that myself, but I am. I will keep an eye out.
Which, I mean, we're not exactly focusing on the stream.
Very
We
true.
check chat every here and there. We're trying to make sure to commentate the game on time
Mhm.
because we don't want you guys seeing, from what we're seeing, like about 30 seconds to another game. Oh wait, no, they're in setup phase right now, so technically being like a minute to two behind.
3 minutes
commentary
behind.
being
The 3 minute delay on stream.
and then commentary being another 3 minutes behind what you're seeing.
My evil eye has your back.
Attackers have discovered the
Now-
location of a bomb.
This is actually going to be a very difficult situation for Arise. This one specifically is very harsh to deal with. We're going to see Casso placing down at least 1 or 2 of those barricades and probably leaving one of them still in his pocket. He just placed another one.
10
We're going to see
seconds
him
to
trying to
insertion.
place those a little bit variety. Probably as a good cutoff. We can see Castle as a fairly strong
seconds
roamer,
to
and I
insertion.
believe he's busting that kitchen wall, which is not a bad idea. I
Attackers
believe a
are
lot of
heading
the
out to
spawns are going to
defuse
be
a
focused
bomb.
on that southwest side near the ruins, and indeed there's a couple there. So that's not anything I'm expecting. No, Chorizo does go ahead and use all of them. He does breach out the second part into tower room. They're not reinforcing the right side, which I think is a very smart idea. Could be dangerous. There's Sifty and down the mute jammer. Still has one in pocket. We don't know where he's going to put that one yet. He might be a little late for him to head into library to put that one down. H17's running out of top. We're going to look from above. We do see he is, instead of playing the Buck, he is playing Thermite. He's gotten picked a little too early in the last 2 rounds to make any viability of the Buck. So I think he's making that switch so we can get one utility off at least, and then maybe die, maybe get a frag return, at least be viable in that regard. Godfield breaching. Nobody is on the east side upstairs.
They're making sure they establish themselves upstairs, seeing Iona sit there and kind of drone everything out with their body, making sure the top floor is clear, because as soon as they sit there and get that chance, you have Thermite, you have Ash, you have Jackal, who's really good with sitting there manipulating those hills, with Godville sitting there getting a pick last round. I feel like they're going to go for more of a top-bottom approach here and get maybe 1 or 2 men going down. Only issue with that is, Zori last round, getting that plant, going in there, not exactly checking the surroundings all that well, so they're probably going to look to sit there and have another man with them this time around.
Now, I commented about the Maestro pick hiding right there in that corner pocket, and look what they did right there. They exactly snuffed him out and pushed him away. That was a huge thing. I spoke a little bit about how GIP must have been watching a couple of the old VODs for Arise and was really countering some of their play strategies, and that's obviously coming into play as Vizzy drops 1 frag, and then I believe there was another frag before that onto Sifty as well. So that is a huge set of frags for them as Vizzy drops down. 1 kill at the end. Not sure who would go on Sifty, but they're now clearing from above. Of course, I had stated that the Thermite getting 1 utility off would be successful in his capacity. He was struggling before, but he does get it off, and he's still alive, taking out the hack, which is a huge play for them. They have a nade in play, but that gets shut down quickly by the Jaeger. They can't throw another one. They probably should have. They don't have somebody over there with a flash grenade. Smoke, there's not enough waste on Jaeger. The shots from above are everywhere. It's not looking good for them. It's the reload. The Maestro stays alive with the skin of his teeth, but he does go down. Vizzy shutting that one down, but Chorizo does get a frag in return, and Chorizo goes down. That is Zori with another kill. It is a 1v4 situation. Raph, who is the roamer in play here, has to get this one. He is down below. He has a tight angle. He gets that shot. Raph with another kill. 1v3 situation. Diffuser getting planted down. He has a chance to get in there, but the floor is busted. He's got to make quick work of this one. Diffuser down. He needs to be aware of where it is. He doesn't know it. He goes down. Godfill fragging out Raph.
These clutch situations never really playing out for these teams all that well. As much as I hate to say it, as exciting it be to see, these guys are all put in really tough situations, especially with what's it? Not Sophia. Grismont girl sitting there
Yes.
kind of.
Sorry, Ella.
Yeah, Ella just
I
sitting
love
there
how you
kind
can
of.
name the ability, but you can't name the operator.
Hey man, look, I told you, it's kind of it's spotty. All right, I know there's a lot of fanfics of her out there, purple hair girl,
where
white
you-
hair girl, whatever it
you-
is.
Why is it you understand the Grismonts then, but not her? If she's
Well,
the
because
focus of the fanfic.
I got a lot of weird stories about Discord servers I've been invited to for the siege, and I just prefer to leave those in the recessed section of my brain.
Yep.
So it comes out at times unintentionally, but But besides that, we're gonna get back to the game, talking about
Yeah, well, sure. You want to
What?
switch the conversation real quick. Now,
No,
we're gonna let him have his little escape here. Now, I talked earlier about how the Maestro on that objective loves to hide in that corner that basically the camera's focusing on right now, but on the first floor, and they snuffed that out really well. That was a very good job by GIP. We have to worry about individually, we have to worry about Chorizo as well. He's very strong with the knees. They've been doing a very good job of shutting him down specifically. They've been watching a lot where he likes to hide and sit. He has a little bit different he's got to do because he's a mutant instead of smoke, so he doesn't have that ability to throw that to get away, but he does have a nitro cell, so he could throw that as a getaway.
5 seconds remain.
But we've seen very few
Attackers are moving out
successful
to locate a
roams
bomb and defuse
in the
it.
last 2 rounds for Arise. They've had very good success in the roam. Raph has 7 and 2. I mean, he's doing very good for himself. Top fragging, not just for his team, but in game as general right now. He's done a very good job for the roam, but the last 2 weren't successful for him. So I'm a little worried for Arise in that regard. GIP's done a good job of shutting that one down. They did manage to drop out H17 early when he was playing Buck, so we'll see if he gets fragged out again here. Could be dangerous for them. They're going to play below. They love to play below here. Mirrors is going to be in a difficult spot. He knows he gets shot from below it. So if he stays too long on that drone, hanging out on his meatball cameras, this could be very dangerous for him.
Interesting as well, we got Mute hanging out in his own little area. We have a lot of spray going on here, guys holding down angles, not as much roaming going on this time, which just only from the Jaeger, which is to be expected. But besides that, every guy kind of not having that much adaptability, having, everyone kind of locked down on that side over there by Hookah and in the hallway, and only range engagement. So the guys over there breaking from Aqua Room from that balcony over there, and with the attackers having the advantage with those ACOGs and things like that, having an easy little pick, especially in the floor over there, putting these defenders in a really, they're putting themselves in a really tough situation. So we'll see how they can sit there and get it out. But as it's, kind of seems so far, Jaeger actually getting one of those picks, helping out the advantage in the long run.
No, that was Raph getting that pick with a nitro cell, right?
Oh.
Now, that is a huge pick. I don't want to interrupt you because I liked what you were saying, but that was a huge pick for them because now look at how Hockey is able to step much further than he was before. He was hanging out near Cool Vibes downstairs, was able to hold that roam very tight because they were wary of the Nomad utility. Now they don't have to worry about that anymore. The only person they had that could shut that down was Godville. They snuffed him out as well. It looks terrible right now for GIP as Arise has all their roamers up. They're able to spread out much further than they were before, and there's nothing GIP can do about it except better gunplay. And this is going to be very difficult for them because right now, the top fraggers are the roamers for Arise, so they are very comfortable with where they are right now.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
See Nash put herself in a little bit of a roaming situation here herself, finally kind of wrapping around. Gonna group up with Buck here in a second, kind of actually playing that team game that we saw earlier, lack of communication earlier, but I think they're finally getting their themselves together, playing the team game, actually making sure they sit there and get in such a situation where they gotta, trade out. They can definitely get the chance to do that.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
This is a bad situation for them right now. Notice how they use 2 breaching charges.
Attackers
One to
have
shut down
recovered
the
their
Maestro
diffuser.
cannon, one to get the Malusi, but he
15
missed the
seconds
Malusi. He
remaining.
took it too quickly, and now they're going to struggle to get onto the objective and into a safe spot as Hockey takes from below. Mirror's Milkers drops another one. It's now to Kaiosoku, and it's Raph. He's going to clean that one up. Flawless round for Arise.
Wow. Okay, I'll take back everything I said. These guys...
They had the
Clean
comeback.
sweep.
I agree with you. They pushed successfully. They had a great side where they had a good angle to. It was one single situation that ruined the entire ending of that for them. Missing that Malusi jammer. They got the Maestro Cam. The Meatball Man himself no longer had the eyesight there, but he still has his ears. And those ears were able to snuff out the audio cue for the Malusi jammer. And there was nothing they could do about it.
Which I think in part that was because of Buck. He sat there, sat on that balcony for a while, kind of checked things out, didn't exactly get the chance to move in, and waited more for Ash to get in on there. Rather than a follow-up or anything like that, kind of more aiming for like a consecutive kind of trade. But rather than that, it was more of a very slow funnel, Ash being the first one in, which can be beneficial. But Buck with that shot, he can sit there and clear out early. He can look for any walls or angles, kind of decorate the room to his comfort, I would have to say. And instead, just waiting for Ash to come around, especially with those her gadget, as well as waiting for Ion over there. Just too many things kind of slowing and delaying and putting them in a weird situation where they got to wait it out and they had to sit there and press the bomb as quick as possible once that countdown timer starts getting really low. And we saw that kind of draw out a little too long on the attacker side that round.
Now, I know you spoke about H17 was taking that slow, but I want you to think about this. It's not saying maybe you would be in that single.
No, please, hand it to me.
H17 is right now. He had 3 rounds
10
back-to-back
seconds
playing
remaining.
Buck, where he couldn't get anything going for him. So much so he had to switch his operator.
5
Just to have
seconds
a
left
single
before insertion.
success story under his belt. He was having trouble on Buck, and he was getting
Attackers are
snuffed out
moving to defuse the bomb.
relentlessly. This is not going well for him, and he knows it. He managed to stay alive there. He's playing so much more
A bomb
slower
has
than
been
we've seen
located.
H17 play earlier. He had such confidence in the first 2 rounds. He had such confidence coming into those rehosts and going in again. And it's just not going in his favor. Rise has him written down in a book. They could write an entire book about his playstyle right now, and they really are showing it. Look at that! Oh my god, that was real close. Sorry, I get a little excited there as well. The monkey just about snuffed out Busy. That was extremely close.
Man felt the air on that one. Got a little haircut.
That was extremely close. I'm honestly shocked that neither of them took damage.
Just going from a flick, it was more probably a peek to sit there and look at the door and then found out, oh, there's a man there, so probably should take some shots.
Speaking of man's there, Godville drops to Rezo, but gets traded right back by Sifty, and H17 gets his frag that he desperately needs. Trading back Sifty. It is a 3v4 situation, but H17 is in a bad spot and very low on health. Aki's taking the roam game very seriously right now, but Zori is still up, so that is a Nomad utility that could be in play. I think they've used 1, or I don't know if Nomad starts with 3 or 4. I don't play Nomad enough to have that, but there is 1 going out. Places that one. Smokers could be in a dangerous spot. We know that the diffuser is probably going to go down there behind that desk. So close to spotting. He gets on his camera. This could be very, very bad. He sees that. He's aware of it now. He needs to be ready to go for that as he gets traded back. Raph with a nitrous tail and Dizzy gets that shot. 50 with another one.
Oh!
Great flick by them. The lean being perfectly set up. It's up to Raph. 10-2 right now. Can he make this into a 13-2? He's going to have to clutch this one up.
Put a really weird situation here as a
Attackers are
Malusi with
activating
most of your gadgets shut down. You just feel fairly useless, especially having that breaching charge on. She has no way to sit there and peek out by herself. Purely gun at this point. Not able to sit there and close that out.
Now, I didn't expect her to get that many since Kaiosuku was sitting in a very good position with a much better scope.
Yep.
That is a very good gun in all accounts. I think the only issue is it's just not as much of a viable gadget. We are heading to overtime, and if in case you guys don't know watching, or in case you don't know Mick, this does go to a best of 3 when it comes to overtime. So we're going to see at least 2 rounds here. They're going to switch after this one. It's Hockey. Once again on the Jaeger, we love to see that. Chorizo on Mute, Sifty on Mozzie again, Raph on Malusi, and Mirror Smokers with Maestro. Attack is going back to the basics for them. H17 a Buck, Kaiosoku on Iana, Nomad in the hands of Zori, Ash with Vizzy, and Zafia on Godville.
Really just seeing a lot of the same
Attackers
people
need to
today. Not
locate
many
and defuse
gameplay
bombs.
changes, especially looking at KDs here. You know, just kind of holding things out, you know, just looking more as a team picture. Making sure, you know, we get those disruptive cards, we get those players who can get the frags. Everybody kind of having their own responsibility in the big scheme of things. And I'm liking the teamwork, the coordination here, knowing, you know, say, as we've said before, if you can't get a guy who's going to be super useful, you know, maybe he's not on his frags for the day, finding something for him to do. Sit there and make it to where these guys are confused by you. They just have to look around at the peek and extra corner. Just something to buy a little more time and help everybody out in the big scheme of things. And I'm really liking how they're just kind of sticking to it, making sure and getting very confident about what they're doing. Calling it out, making sure, you know, this is working. For 6-6, you know, Arise being down at first, so they're bringing it back, picking it up. And then GIP kind of bringing it back from that point, being down, being in the situation where they were down. Both teams are really showing up and making sure, you know, at this point it's really, we got this ironed out. We just need to sit there.
In so many overtime rounds now. Do you think that a lot of the heat that was Arise initially had after feeling shafted about what happened earlier, do you think a lot of that heat is dissipated and maybe that's...
Oh, for sure. I think everybody's just kind of in the game now. They're not worried about it. They know it's an even game. Both teams have fought for this position, so they're not stressed about it. Besides that, you know, I feel they just kind of aren't worried about it. They both have the rehost, so they're both being very just precautious, kind of worried about it. They're on even playing ground and just playing this game out and making sure that they can win this fair and square rather than relying on something or bickering about, you know, just little issues here and there.
Now we're seeing a push from below. A push from below. Your words are rubbing off on me now, Mick.
Oh, goodness gracious, dude. All right, I'll leave the call by.
We're seeing a push from below, and now I'm a little worried for Arise because every single time GIP is taking that bar room specifically and taking that advantage on this play side, it's really shut down Chorizo hiding out in hookah room and being able to hold that solo, which is what they like to see and like to do. So they're going to have to be wary of that. Kaosoku does have a great drone in there that is somehow not getting muted out there, so they're going to flash in and try and play that. They're going to shut down Stero, but it doesn't go far enough. It actually hits that little ledge right there, and H17 goes down. That's an important pick for them, but the Nomad actually gets off there. We see the Nomad utility did in fact hit. I believe that was Mozzie in the hallway. There's Vizzy dropping down Sifty. That is what they need right now as GIP is in the back end as Chorizo drops on Kaiosoku, but gets fragged right back returned by Sori, but Raph does not let that one stand as Vizzy gets dropped as well. Now it's down to the 3v2. Sori started planting the diffuser, but had to pick it back up as they are unable to get that one down.
You know, Arise, they're stepping up. I'm happy to see it. You know, making sure that skin didn't stop them. You know, I know we keep going back to that bickering, but just making sure that Raph is he's the main. You know, as we can see, he's the main leader in this charge. Making sure, you know, whatever goes on, he ain't worried about it. This man's back in the game.
The trade at the end there. Sorry to interrupt. Sori and Mirror's Milkers trading back out. That was a good flick in the hands of Sori right there. But Mirror's Milkers had a good pull up on that. And there's Raph all alone, left to wonder what just happened. Now we saw Raph. Raph has really shown his own game here, roaming and the roaming potential in general. I know that I had spoken earlier about. I had casted last Sunday for. We saw it was 9-Ball Esports. They had a draft tournament. Which was very fun to cast. I think it was very enjoyable. There was one team which ended up winning it all. They had the best roaming potential I had seen from any team, and they'd all been randomly picked and set up. Their roam game was astronomical. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of that in Raph right now. Raph is undisputed right now for roaming. Of course, he's going to have to play back to attack, which we had saw he did fairly well as his frag potential, but he is going to have to do better than that because right now it's all coming up defense for Rise and not so much on the offense.
No, you mean by random, I hope you don't mean these guys were ballsy enough to just click random operators and just roam with them. Surely that's not what you meant by that. So, you know,
I mean, that's what the team did at 9-Ball, though. I'm just saying right now, there was one player who was set to roam and he didn't exactly know the position as well, and he picked up Oryx, then he played Ella, then he played like 2 other operators. It was just a new operator every single time. I mean, the man was just running in with everything.
That's my kind of man.
They went out and they slaughtered and they swept the first round. They had a good showing. The second one was like 7-2 or 7-3 in their second map. And then the third one, it goes to overtime. It was very, very close in that regard. But
attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
That's good to hear, though. Good God. You know,
I
man, just sit there.
Raph, though.
Just hoping to God he can sit there and he's just good behind a keyboard and mouse, and that's really what it comes down to.
I know Raph has held a conversation with me before. They had reached out and asked if I was going to cast it. I'm down for it. I'm always here to cast these type of things. I wonder if Raph is going to appreciate me complimenting his throwing game. If he doesn't, then I'm going to have a couple choice words for him. If I'm going to compliment you, compliment me back. Just saying, all right? Nice hair, Mick. All right, I don't get a compliment back. All right, we just had this conversation. All right,
well, I mean, okay, look, dude. I just don't feel like I deserve it. Okay. We'll sit there and hold off. I'm more of a self-confidence kind of guy. I need constructive criticism. That's my compliment. Like, you're doing great. Just do better.
Okay. All right.
Like, you're not garbage, but like you're not smelly garbage. You're just garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you really get up the reason there. And there's the shot from behind. Hockey does get a lot of damage into Vizzy, but it doesn't go down. Chorizo is low as well. That is a weird camera angle. I always love it when people repel it upside down. It's a little bit funky. They're going to take control of the bedroom or try to, but that doesn't go in their favor as that's a frag in both directions. Raph and Kaiosoku getting frags there. Now Raph is very low, shot through the wall, but it doesn't hit, but Chorizo's does. Dropping down Vizzy. Now it is a 4v3 situation. The attacker's having the numerical advantage, but it's going to be difficult as all get out to take control of Kitchen.
Rise looking like they
A
had the
bomb
lead
has been
here, just
located.
kind of trying to close this out. I think that's what they had their fingers crossed for, making sure they can get these picks. Sit there. I don't even think they're worried about the bomb at this point. You know, they're all sitting upstairs. They're kind of keeping that out, trying to find these spots. You know, now Ash looking for that Maestro, trying to sit there and get that clip. Get a breaching charge. They're right above them. You know, they're just playing the clip game at this point, just trying to make sure to close it out, make sure they get this last round so they can go right next to them, so they can go to the next map. You know, this has been a long map for both teams, you know, for the viewers as well. Everybody's behalf, it's been a very long map, and I feel like they're just trying to sit there and close this thing out and make sure they can get this overtime win here.
It's like an hour and 50-minute match, I think, for just this one map. We do see that there has not been a frag in a while, which could be advantageous towards GIP. But there it goes, another advantageous position for GIP as Zori does get the Maestro kill. Raph was a huge pivotal point. He does get the frags he needed before he exited. They need to wait for Maestro. They do ping him, and there's a shot from above. Mirrors Milker is getting the 6th shot as the ping and information come through, but Sifty also dropped Godville. They're now, it's just H17. He has the Vector in hand, a very, very strong weapon, but it is going to be very hard to get the number of frags that he needs to win this one out, especially when he's now stuck upstairs with no hatch busted. Will this shot go as he crosses? The timing on this, he's in the room, he's next to you. When you turn it down.
Oh my
That
god.
is unfortunate. H17 getting that one. It is not looking good. He's going to have to jump outside and hope this door is open. It is. He steps in, but they know where he is now. They know he's in. Oh, and there it is.
Oh
H17
my
dropping
god.
1v1 situation. Chorizo and H17. He's going to play aggressive. Chorizo sitting in the back hallway next to Teller room inside of that office building. And if you're aware of the
Just alone,
attendee
man.
station, if he starts the
Defenders
defense,
have
he might have
located
an
the
angle where he
diffuser.
can't get hit, but it's going to be very close. 7 seconds. He is not going to get it here.
This is the time for it.
H17 just going for the frag. He doesn't get it. Chorizo. Great showing. Great game. Arise takes map 1.
Man, H17, man, saying, you know, forget what I did on offense. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to get some clips on this final thing. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep it, try and do my best to keep us in the game. You know, not exactly performing as much as he wanted to with that buck, I'm sure. But as soon as it came around to being on defense, you know, picking up with Oryx, he did a great job right there. And as long as I can sit there and maintain that in this next map, you know, H17 is going to be a force to reckon with. They're going to be targeting him just as much as they do Zori and Vizzy, just trying to, as much as possible, you know, everybody on GIP just going to sit there and be a threat to mess with. As long as they can find that momentum, play into that, and sit there and kind of carry that to the next map. But that's the issue. With it being a brand new map, you know, all these teams playing Coastline so much today for so long, you know, it feels like there's probably going to be a whole shift of momentum, making sure that, you know, and that's the great thing about this game. As soon as we sit there and go somewhere different, it's going to start all over. And
Now-
hopefully we can see that from both teams and make sure that, you know, we still have a game on our hands. You know, everything feels fair and put us in a situation where, you know, we can just enjoy the night and, you know, hopefully get a clean finish out of all these guys.
Now, I know this won't affect me because, you know, I'm me, and I'm sure it won't affect you, Mick, either.
Well, you're
also
you,
quite
dude. Heck yeah.
ADHD. Who am I? I'm Infernosis, baby.
You're you,
Welcome.
dude.
You imitating my voice, bro? You like, all right. So, as I
No,
get
that was
offended,
more of a smokers. that was more of a smokers.
we head into this next round. We're trying to figure out what the heck is going on here.
Yeah, boy.
So, as we know, that was an extremely long map. I mean, that was an hour and 45 minutes alone for just that map, and it's going to be very different for this next map. If God forbid, you know, Gunnerz can get this win, if they can really show up here and have their team get those frags they need and really show up on this map, then it's going to map 3, and it's going to be an entirely different game than map 1 and map 2. Not just because it's Cafe, which does have a similar attacking style to Coastline, but it's going to be completely different because at this level of play and playing with this intensity, especially with the hot feelings from both teams, they're going to be tired. They're not going to be able to focus as much. There's going to be a lot of mistakes on both sides. And the first team to make those mistakes and the other team to capitalize on, it will be a swift, one-sided landslide for that side. If they tire at the same time, we saw that before with Dexterity versus, I believe it was Dexterity versus Nility. It had gone to 3 maps. It went to all overtimes. It was extremely... no, it was Dexterity versus Dark Space, I think, or Nihility versus, I don't remember. It was one of these teams, all right? Went to the max amount of rounds, and they tired at the exact same time. They played still well, but you could tell there was a lot more mistakes in positioning and where they were holding. And when both teams were able to tire at that point, it became very even, which we hadn't seen in the first 2 maps, as it was a landslide and then a comeback victory to try and tie it out in overtime, which they did successfully. Dark Space did successfully in one of those maps on map 2.
How many mistakes do you think it equates to? You think it comes down to feel more like a ranked game or a casual game?
It's these players are never gonna have in
Yeah,
this
I'm just messing
situation.
with
They're
you, man.
never gonna drop to casual.
I was
But
just
I-
fussing around. I was thinking that hopefully it'd be funny enough to
We
see
see
some
some
good
new
nights.
strategies come
We
in.
just see some good nights in the chat or something
Some
like
GNs,
that.
Some GNs. I think at this point, if a single GN came into the chat right now, it would become just
Oh,
all
it'd be
hell would break
riot.
loose. It would be disgusting. I mean, the
We'd be
chat would go
streaming and playing
wild.
R6 in real life.
Yeah, I mean,
We'd
it would
sit there
be
and
very
GoPros
hard. It
everywhere.
would not be very good. But when these teams are going to tire out, it really just comes down to which team's going to do it. None of this
Yep.
is going to matter. I think both of the teams are good enough to go into 2 maps and successfully not tire out. But right now, this could be different because it's an hour and 45 minutes on map 1 alone. So they could tire out for map 2.
Because I can tell you, man, personally, I'm even feeling it myself. You know how we are having school today and things like that. You know, coming out tomorrow just kind of put us in a weird situation. But I mean, none of us are complaining. We're fun to,
I mean,
you know, it's
I had
fun.
to
We're
get up
having...
at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So I mean,
Good God, dude. Why do you sign up for those classes?
I didn't sign up for the class, all right? I signed up for the online, but it was filled, so I had to take me in person. You know, these things.
What a
these
way to
things
another
happen.
semester.
Yeah, I can't though. Like I'm supposed to graduate next semester.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can't wait. Otherwise, I mean, I could take it over summer, which wouldn't be a terrible strategy. Like, I might ask. I literally might ask because with my schedule like conflicts, I may just say, hey.
Today
Is
was
there
the last day
summer
for
class?
changing, so have fun paying for that class you ain't taking.
hey.
I hope you make
it's
enough
the
money
same amount of
streaming for
time. I'm
that.
taking 18 hours. I'm taking 18 hours this semester. Okay, so if I drop
Oh,
it,
good God. Yeah, y'all go drop my man a follow. Give him a sub. Do what you can to help him out. Oh, good God. He's going to be in debt regardless.
yeah, this is terrible. But our university does have the thing where if you take like more than 12 and below 20, it's the same cost. So I could drop it and it wouldn't.
Who will want to take 20?
I don't know. Insane people, I agree.
Like,
Just saying.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it if you're taking like 20, like maybe, you know, like PEs or something. You know, you're taking like health, bowling,
Yeah.
scuba.
Yeah. I haven't taken
Just
any
become a
electives like
savant.
that are like. I've never taken an elective like that. That's not like laid back. You were talking about taking health or bowling, and I was like, what the heck? We have bowling?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I needed electives, but the only issue is they only equate to like 1 hour, and it'd just be a lot of driving. At that point, might as well just work a job.
yeah.
Just go somewhere, travel the country.
Well,
you know,
if it's
Cats
for university, sometimes you need. It depends what classes you have, but you know, if you want to get to that 12 credit full time, you might need you might have 11, so maybe you'll take like a 1 credit like archery
Gotcha.
class.
Some classes
or
are
something.
like 1.5 credits, like they're like a mini master, things like that, and they're like for no
Yeah.
reason they just do it, so it like really messes with your schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I
the
was
accelerated
stressed about
classes.
that.
we just ended up in CPR instead, so now I'm gonna sit there and anybody
CPR
needs
is easy,
help.
bro. I am Red Cross Association certified for both lifeguarding and all CPR
Really?
and things like that, resuscitation techniques. Yeah. Now to be a lifeguard, I'd have to get it renewed, my lifeguarding certificate. But my Red Cross Association is lifetime, as far as I'm aware. So I'm still certified in that. So
Wait, what's
I took
that for?
a whole course on that.
Do
Is
you
that
need
the
to be retrained to
CPR
do it
that
with
you're
a
talking
mask?
about?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have my mask anymore. Like, I'd have to get a new one. But I know how to use it all. I know how to resuscitate. I know what to do in certain environments. Especially if it's in a pool, bro. I can put you on a backboard, strap you in. When you're across a pool, I know what I'm doing.
I can't swim, so
Heard.
I'll save you first,
Can't
bro.
swim?
I won't
No.
use the mask. I won't use the mask.
I
either way,
sink.
so I'm
You
going
know,
in.
I tried doing the floating thing. I just sink.
You seem pretty tall though. I don't think you have to worry about that.
That's true. I mean, I usually, I just go in like the 6-foot pool. I can still, on my toes. You know,
Wait,
it's like
wait,
jump up.
humble brag about being 6 foot. All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot 2, dog. It's in my Tinder bio.
I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Okay, don't you be lying here, okay?
Oh, I'm not lying.
Oh,
I'm
my
just using the
goodness.
metric system to my advantage.
Yeah.
It's like those memes where it's like when how she looks, thinks of you when you're
Like
6
5'11",
foot and
6 foot,
5'11",
it's
yeah.
Like a
I just-
dwarf compared to like
Yeah.
Gandalf.
Yeah. Just Hobbit versus Gandalf, yeah. Now, I'm telling you right now, I was a lifeguard from the age of 15. I was a swim coach
Wow.
from 14. I was a private swim instructor at the age of 15 and 16 and up to 18. I did a lot of stuff around pools. So like resuscitating people, saving people's lives, that's my business, even though I've only done it like 3 times in like 6 years. You barely ever have to do anything really and truly.
Yeah.
But I
It's
tell
really
you what
just,
though,
it's swagger is what it is,
Yeah.
or at least what it looks like. Send a theme park, shades on, go.
I was a
You
lot
know,
more
just
fit
messing
back then
around
as
with
well. I mean,
kids.
obviously, I'm not lifeguard material now in that regard, but like I was sitting up on the thing, armed up, shades on. I was swagging out a little bit, but when it came to like coaching, I tell you what, all that swagger's gone. Those parents, they're ruthless, man. Like,
Oh,
you think
dude.
Karens in like stores or anything like that are bad? No, those swim team parents, they're ruthless. I had one parent come up and said, my kid missed his race, and he was like a 6-year-old. And
Oh.
I was like, I called them, and they weren't where they were supposed to be. They weren't in the bullpen.
We are
They
ready
keep
to
all
go,
the kids
boys.
Like rats. I was like, they weren't in the bullpen, so they missed their race, and they like yelled at me, and like they yelled in my face for like 5 minutes, and I just broke down. I cried, like as a grown man, dude. It's like 17 years old. I broke, bro. I don't know what it was, dude.
Class 17 is a grown man.
You're 16
That's
in the state
cute.
of Alabama. You're a man. What do you want about?
I mean, go for it, dude. More power to you.
But yeah, crap. I messed up.
It's hard, bro.
Whoops. Of course I did.
Wrong side, apparently.
You're gonna have to rehost for this. This is a rehost for us, not.
I was about to say, who-
They didn't mess up. We messed up. So
Who's using that
we'll
one?
continue our conversations. We're just kind of chatting
man,
casually.
that's
Of course,
hilarious.
the map. We'll speak about the map for a second. This is Villa.
Yep.
And everyone knows Villa does have a bathtub, so we may see a recreation or recreation of the famous. This isn't a beach. This is a bathtub scene. We'll see how that one goes.
Heck yeah.
He goes, I know that. Where do I
I
know
thought that
from?"
was I thought that was closer to like what is it? Skyscraper. You know, like sitting there, not skyscraper.
There's a good
like the
hot tub
dojo.
there. No, there's
The
there's a
dojo
hot tub
one.
on.
There's one right there, yeah, next to the bedroom. I was hoping,
Yeah.
you know, it just allows a quicker transition, it seems.
Hey, that's what had happened in there. And so, what have we devolved to in conversation?
I mean, I don't think it's devolved.
I think we've evolved. I think we've reached a higher level of conversation.
Exactly. We're just feeling comfortable in our zone, you know, and we're even on the right teams now. We got those.
Yeah,
things.
I mean-
so you see,
there's
we're
not
in.
really the right team.
There's
to see, there's
nobody in
no one
lobbies,
here.
but
Yeah,
there's nobody in the
so,
lobby.
I mean, this
but
is
we
what
got it.
you and me make 1v1. I mean, I choose 6 pick. I'm gonna switch over to gridlock.
No.
When you talked about
We're
CPR
gonna-
earlier, you could say it ties him with Doc.
Attackers need
He's
to
a
locate
character in the
and-
game.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's some tie-ins.
Yeah, I make out with people to bring them back to life. He just shoots them full of like cocaine and heroin, and it kind of works. out.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
It's
adrenaline.
pretty similar.
He's got the adrenaline syringe, you know.
Yeah, trust me. When I'm making out with them, they have a lot of adrenaline. So.
No.
Oh my god.
No,
What are you
I don't
saying
think
there?
I will.
All right.
All right.
Now that my feelings have been hurt, we'll.
Goodness gracious, man. I mean, we also got, you know, Fink as well, you know, sit there.
there's
Instead
that
of having
boost,
to
yeah.
shoot, you know, just
I really feel like
the clutch
Fink
of the
is just
hand,
like,
Infinity Gauntlet, reviving
Yeah.
half the population.
I feel like Fink is just like one big moral support engine because like her gadget doesn't make sense like real life wise, right? So it's just like you can do it, and then like the Ash is just like
I love
Really?
the doubt. I love that you're like, right? Nanobots Nanobots could be real, right? Like right now,
yeah.
this day and age.
I have over at my Twitch channel. I have a couple jokes with talking about like I'm sponsored by an energy drink, and so they always talk about one of my chatters is always like, I'm not gonna buy it because it doesn't have nanobots in it, and he goes on and on. He's just waiting until like 2028 when they film like energy drinks with nanobots to give that pristine performance in your body, you know.
Didn't we have like what is it? I know I may be bringing up a recessed memory here, but you know like the little nanobots, the little things that they're like the little toys. The little robotic drones that you kind of just put on the
Oh.
ground, they wiggle along.
Yeah.
I can't think of what they're called, man.
I can't
They
think
were
what they
so
are, though.
dumb. Like they
Yeah,
came in a little like
always
test
sell them in-
tube.
Yeah, they sell them in like Cracker Barrel, like in the little like shopping area of Cracker Barrel. There's also
Oh, bro,
like,
don't you talk about that Cracker
the
Barrel
memories
store?
of Cracker. We're going to Cracker Barrel. Chad, this is devolving to like or evolving to just like crazy levels. So Cracker Barrel weasels the ball that then the weasels attached to it that spins
Yes,
around.
those are so cool, dude.
Or they brought the as seen on TV like the little worms that you could like pull a string and it would like go through your fingers and stuff. You know, they had those in there. Of course, the giant checkers. Anyone who doesn't have Cracker Barrel doesn't know how to play checkers. So
Oh, Hex Bug. That's what they're called.
Hexbug,
Hex
that's
Bug
it.
Nanos, man.
Hexbug
Oh my goodness.
Nanos.
I haven't seen
They
those
were
things in a
awesome.
long time.
Those
Dude,
were awesome. They weren't as cool
2000s
as
were on something,
Bakugans,
dude.
right? But they were pretty.
Oh, no, not as cool. Like,
Nobody was
even
bringing them
though-
out at the lunch table and be like, "Yo, let's have a Hexbot battle."
Let's have a nanobot battle. Let's sit there. My beetle against your centipede. It's like, who wants to do that? Now I'm just not hungry, dude. That's disgusting. Yeah, my tarantula versus your Black Widow. It's like,
oh my
what?
goodness.
It sounds like a bunch of Transformers, bro. Like everything's just evolved, man. Ugh. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
I think one of the teams is currently having problems joining in.
No.
Of course, it has to be Gun. No, I'm just messing with them.
I think I
It'll-
fixed
but-
it, so I think they should be joining. Hopefully,
Okay,
I reset the whole lobby, so
that's probably what did it. Yeah. So chat obviously is going off about Godville right now. They're doing their big they're doing their big, you know, somebody should check such and such's PC, he might be cheating, like big copy pastas in the chat
Oh
right now.
my
I see
God.
that somebody commented
Classic.
on our "This isn't a beach, this is a bathtub." They said this is a league and not a Twitch stream. So we're seeing a lot of stuff there. I'm actually excited though for this matchup. Now we had a lot of heat on map 1. Obviously, there was some big drama going on. In case you weren't here, basically World War III, except less nukes and more just harsh words. You know, which you know they say sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Now I actually think that's wrong because one of them actually said they didn't want me to cast, and that hurt my feelings. And I'm not gonna say who it was, Nick. But you know, it just.
Then we're both out of job, buddy. So otherwise, I'm not here.
Oh my goodness. Nah, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I think they're almost
about to
readying
say.
up there.
Yeah, I've been training
Yep.
on League, man.
Should
You should have some
be.
tougher skin when it comes
Hopefully.
to insults.
Yeah, it's true actually. I grew up Call of Duty. I just didn't have very many insults. I wasn't the guy that had a mic plugged into his console.
Oh, come on, man. I went through hell and back sitting there using the Kinect. You know that just
You
that
were,
is.
you were playing Star Wars Just Dance, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually kind of genius about it, though. You know, you had those CRTVs, like the ones with the
Yeah.
box that have the headphone.
all right,
input
here
inside
we
of it.
go.
That's where I
Yeah.
sat there and plugged it in, so you never heard the echo. So it was just like, but I was sitting like 2 inches away from my screen, so it's just, you know, I may have suffered eyesight a little bit, but I mean, I didn't get made fun of as much. So I mean, it's worth it. I'm not mentally scarred from Call of Duty lobbies.
That's true. Now, one thing I am mentally scarred about is this SFCL lobby because it has gotten spicy. I mean, there's been some harsh stuff said. But in terms of the bans right now we see Jackal. There's no cheating about that. What do you
Arise
think
is
other than-
definitely targeting Godville right there.
Yeah.
Especially with those last couple rounds. They're just kind of playing it like a league match. Like, he was annoying. But
Now we
it's
see
all good.
Thatcher's ban. That's a very normal ban. In terms of defense, I think a Mira and then probably Smoke again by GAP.
Yeah. No, but on a real note, Jackal definitely a strong operator to sit there and buff out, you know, especially on some like
Yeah.
a big map like Villa.
Villa is
A
a
lot of
very,
roaming
very
people to go
large
on
map
here.
for this. Raph is
But-
upset about the Smoke ban again.
Hmm.
Arise, maybe Mirais wanted to ban that themselves. They are going to ban Jaeger,
Or the
though. So
Jaeger.
usually Mira is in play. So we didn't actually see any Mira the one before, which is actually a little upsetting in that regard because I was actually looking forward to that.
Running
But-
2 vectors, that would have been extremely strong on their behalf,
Goyo
especially with
and
running an Oryx.
Mira, yep. And Oryx would be interesting. I don't know if Oryx is actually live because I've just never seen Oryx here. He could very well be just, you know, no one cared. So we
Or
see
Goyo,
H17.
my apologies.
Yeah,
both
yes,
too
it's-
big, both bigger build guys, you know.
Goyo's got that stash though. Look at that right there. Chorizo.
Yes.
We see Chorizo is actually playing Goyo and not Mute here. We're seeing actually see Sifty with Mute. Rav is playing Pulse. I actually love to see this. This map is huge. It's very wide. There's a lot of space for a Pulse to play very well here.
Seeing Ace again as well too, which we haven't seen him
and
in
they're
a hot
switching.
minute.
And Ella. Now I talked about selfish picks. It was brought up at the lucky ball draft tournament, whatever it is. Sorry, 9-ball draft tournament. We talked about selfish picks in regards to players because they had just formed. It was just random pick people, and so we obviously were going to see some selfish picks. Someone just trying to pick what they're comfortable with instead of picking what fits. Ella is, I would agree, as a selfish pick. Very good roam potential, high
Attackers
frag
need to
potential,
locate and defuse
but
as
they
many
don't
bombs
really
as they
bring
can.
that much to the table like, say, a Malusi does. She can place her gadgets and she's phenomenally close.
I would have to argue that. I feel like, to an extent, Ella feels almost like a defensive nomad. Maybe not as useful because it'd be so strong on that side with the knockback effect. But for the most part, she's roamer, but yet she, depending on her placements, she puts it around herself compared to the objective. Yes, I can kind of buy into that ideal. But if she places it around the objectives to help her teammates with those audibles and kind of gadget placements, and I feel like she could be a
10
team player to a
seconds
certain
left.
extent. It really just comes down to how much you respect your
Attackers
team
have recovered their diffuser.
and sit
5
there and
seconds remaining.
try and get their teammates to, get the capitalization off of those career spots. But
I mean, in all honesty, speaking of capitalization, they capitalized on the top of Raf's head there with the yellow pick. He apparently crashed, so they have to do a rehost. That's their rehost for this map taken in round 1, which was actually 1 round sooner than we saw the last map's rehost, which was done in round 2. So, obviously, we're starting off strong once again here. So that's round 1 with a rehost. It does not count, just for everybody in the chat that wants to argue against that this time. No more arguing for that. Does not count.
during this
Rehost
time,
done at the beginning of the round. Yep.
I'd say y'all just go ahead. If y'all got some popcorn, some microwavable, go ahead, get that ready.
Oh, really? I'm just
Get your
leaving.
drinks to the side. I'm with you. The only thing I got right here is a lime. I'm sucking on a lime for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me, but got to get that acid level up.
You have a coconut?
Do I have a coconut? No.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
put
not
the
a big
lime in the
coconut
coconut.
guy personally.
But if you put the lime in the coconut and you shake it all about,
And mix
you
it
tend to
all
get,
up.
yeah, you get a good mixture there, and also a great beat from like the 90s. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Was it that the 90s?
I
could
don't
have
know.
sworn that
I'm
was
looking this up.
thousands.
I'm actually
Put the lime in the coconut and mix it.
no teams here. No. That
Oh.
it was 1996, I believe.
Wow. That
Let me
is
double
late.
check that.
Maybe it was a remix at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
A lot of sampling going on in that kind of industry. Wow, chat's really blowing up about Godville. Should we just kind of, love them too? Or no, we gotta stay neutral for the sake of the competition.
Yeah, we have to say we're a very neutral-sided group here. So we just got a lot of points riding on this.
I only have 810. I like double that.
I actually didn't put any channel points on this one because the last game I put my channel points into, admins v casters, it was so one-sided that I couldn't even believe my eyes. Did not go well for the casters. If you bet it for the admins, that was a smart choice because it was a blowout.
Well,
Definitely not.
No,
because
it
of
was
Tofu.
fatality. It was fatality.
It was
Let's be
fatality.
real.
It was all fatality. I mean, let's be honest here. That did not give me any idea about the casters' potential. Now, I did see a couple of the casters do very well on the tournament.
They definitely held their own. It wasn't a total blowout.
Yeah.
They got at least 2 rounds on every single map. So I mean, it's not like they could have just sat there and let their keyboard gone AFK or anything. But I mean, they still competed.
I mean, but they did let fatality go like 13-0 on first map.
No, first map. I was about to say overall he didn't get as many kills the second game.
Yeah, but he still had very little deaths. Like it was not a it was there's no real way to say that. Honestly, it was terrible. They're really gonna need to balance the teams a little bit more for the next one that gets happen. So maybe
I could have put channel points on that.
I mean, you should have. I mean, that would have been.
Issue is,
you put one channel point on the admins there, and that would have turned into a lot more. I mean,
my thing is, I just gotta ban out all banning. Like it's a mentality thing as a caster. I mean, because remember last Friday, we had bets up for real money, and it's like if I can't do real money, I'm not gonna do channel points. It's just like go ahead and get in that mindset.
Yeah. Now, this next map. Chat's still going off about Godville, there's a lot of more copy paste of stuff, but we actually didn't see a huge performance. Shut up. Copy pasta. It's copy pasta.
Okay. I forgive.
All right. Shut up. I guess that's revenge. I did call you out a little earlier. So,
that's all good.
I see Godville didn't have like the widest stat line on the last one. I think it was mostly, as you were talking about, Vezi and Zori. They were really the really prime people as the
little dynamic duo going on there.
They had some really good plays. Now, I think the teamwork on Arise was better than the teamwork on Gunnerz. But I think Gunnerz had a couple of their fraggers that were able to clutch when they needed to. and they were very viable because of that. We saw that whenever Gunnerz had a situation, especially in the last round with H17, right, where he brought it down from a 3v1 to a 1v1. I think they were a lot more situated and ready or able to clutch those situations, but Arise had didn't give them many opportunities because they really, when they went around, they won it fairly well.
Yeah. So they're kind of just a lot better with their communication as a whole, making sure, all right, guys, let's just calm down, get ourselves together, play this map out. It may be 0-2 right now, but we can still bring this back. And in the end, they did. They showed that once you sit there and don't let something get to you, you're only going to stress about it more and more. So let's just forget about it. Some of these next two, buff it out. Now who cares? We're back to 0-0 technically. It's just best of first of 4. So at that point, they just kind of they started dominating, putting themselves together, collecting, really playing a very good collective game there in terms of trades and in terms of picks and confidence in terms of their operators and their composure there and their team comp. But besides that, Paris didn't let up. They made sure they played defense on both sides of the board, making sure to hold their position as best as they could.
And
But
even went to overtime. I mean, it was
exactly.
Both teams played very well. I mean, despite the fact that some Arise fans or Arise themselves may be upset, it started 2-0, but you can't argue the fact that Arise came back. They ended up winning it. So, I mean, Arise was struggling at the beginning there to win that first round. They didn't have a good first round. They lost that one. They went too aggressive. They had 3 players alive left on GIP. It just wasn't going in their favor. They lost the second round. Of course, they had called the rehost for the skin. It didn't play any part in the round itself. So that didn't matter. They
just
lost
a little
it, though.
breather? Do you think Arise, like a player, need to like pee or something? Like
Now,
they
was
threw
that
him
it?
off, and
So
he's
when
like,
the
and he sit
entire
there and
drama
did the skin.
drops, when Keem started to come out with his own personal drama alert, basically for an entire drama alert for
The whole time they were just
Yeah.
taking a little pee break or something. Get a
Yeah,
little,
you think they were just like sitting on the toilet, just
dropping
like,
the kids
typing out
off at
from
the pool.
anger?
You know what I'm saying?
They're like, man, we need to start some drama just so I can use the restroom real fast. Did not prepare for this one, so.
And this is they got back and they're like, all right, boys, let's get it.
All right, I'm part of the 2-0. Let's go into this.
We got this,
doing
bro.
my
Ain't
business.
no stress.
But we are officially having everybody in here, of course. Now, name one player on both sides who you think is either going to have a standout performance in opposite of last round, or you think was going to do as well as they did last round.
Let's see. Hockey and Vizzy.
Hockey and Vizzy.
Those are my
Now,
2 calls.
Vizzy, I understand. He did very well last round. And Hockey did very well with Jaeger. But the Jaeger's been banned.
I feel like this map's a lot larger, though. So even if he doesn't have the operator for it, he can still utilize whatever he needs to put himself in that situation. He has a lot more place to work with. He has, it's more of a playground at this point rather than a compressed area where he's kind of put into a cornered animal situation. And, Godville, he's going to sit there. He's going to hold down the objective. He's going to do as best he can. I could sit there and call him out. But, these guys, I feel like they're really unsung heroes. They sat there. They used their utility just as well as they did their keyboard and mouse for their guns. They sat there, made sure to kind of, utilize teamwork as best as possible. It seemed like they were sitting there doing a lot of calls, getting themselves together, collecting the team, and just bringing everything together. And that's really the kinds of things I look for, because these unsung heroes, they're the difference makers in every single match.
Now, you say Hockey. Now, I'm going to actually say Hockey as
need
well.
to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
I was
can.
just kind of like seeing if you could follow through. You definitely did. Great points. I agree wholeheartedly. Hockey, I knew he was going to have to play Wamai here. That was going to be the choice that he was going to have to go to. He was the dedicated person playing Jaeger. I know that he can play Wamai. I've seen him play Wamai. Wamai is honestly a better roamer in regards to defense. He's a better roamer. The longer he stays alive and the longer he stays off objective and sitting still, where he'll get fragged out from below or above, the stronger he is. So I think Hockey's going to do very well in Wamai. The one pick I'm worried about, or the one pick I'm going to say is going to do great on GI.
10 seconds left.
I could obviously say Godville and get some brownie points with the chat, but I'm actually not going to do that.
5
I'm going to say
seconds left.
Kyle Sophie, because we are actually seeing Ace being banned for the first time in this matchup. And I love to see Ace. Ace has so much potential as a hard breach, and the defense did not prepare at all for the hard breach except for Sifty. And that Sifty pick with Mute is only done as a way to shut down drones while also having the viability of the shotgun as their utility. We're going to see very little of him droning hard breaches or hard balls. Or used to not see.
Which in all fairness is totally fine in terms of these things. We have a lot more utility, seeing as you said, Wilmai, and in place of the Jaeger, doing a little bit better with that AUG, and kind of accelerating, and capitalizing off those long-range engagements a little bit better. The only issue is you have that trade-off in terms of fire rate. So if you're trying to strafe or something like that, you do have that larger chance to get a gap between the two hit points. But we still see the Iana, or then they're kind of doing their roaming. You know, we see a lot of utilization here of every single gadget with Mai holding up, not straining away too far from the objective as we expect them to be. Instead, it's looking more like a Malaysian here in the roamer situation.
And we do see that Raph did drop with LA, does get the first round, shuts down H17. H17 switching onto the Iana instead of what we usually see. We saw before it was Kaiosoku with Iana. They're obviously switching their roles a little bit here. H17 no longer playing that below frag on the floors and trying to take those picks. Instead, playing as an information game, kind of switching with Kaiosoku with the utility. I want to see how that'll pan out. H17 obviously struggled last game. Is this a change done out of necessity? The fact H17 was just not having a game, or is this done because they were prepared to do this? Is this a predetermined thing?
Still being so large, I think there is more preparation that has to go into it for these guys in these different operator selections. Because instead of feeling more like a battlegrounds, it actually feels like a more tactical layout, a lot more slow approach, and I think they're playing as best as they can. Not running a buck, running an ace. Still having that ass, she sits there and speeds the game up so much and so advantageous for the offensive side. Still running so big, she's just an all-around.
A bomb has been located.
She's just like Ash, quick, great rep into the right hands, great entry, great utility. We obviously saw that Vizzy did get that frag there, and there's another one. That one was hit fire to actually get the down and then finish by the aim. And there's another one following it up, triple kill. Vizzy dropping down Chorizo as Hockey gets around, back in return on Zori. Now back down to the 2v2, and there's the shot outside. Ace, that is a frag going in favor of Sifty, drops down Kaiosoku. It's up to Vizzy, and Vizzy is going to have to ace this one to clutch it.
And if he does, you know... Actually, I'm not going to make this call yet. I'm just going to wait to let it play out. You know, you made the call that, man.
And you were hyping Vizzy. Let's see if they match up to it. They're going to have to get the diffuser down, and they don't have it, so this is not good. They have to go to the exit frags. And I don't think they're going to get all the exit frags. I don't think it's going to be
He's
possible.
probably looking for at least one here to sit there and both the
stats. He's just
barely missing that.
You know, he gets 3 kills, and he stays alive in the process. His KD is thankful, but the scoreboard is not right now, as the first round goes in favor of Arise.
Taking things a little slow there, but as we said, it's just kind of like the tempo of the map. We're going to see a lot of different play styles here. You know, see a lot of operator changes, see a lot more utilization of Nomad, making sure she gets all those gadgets off really quickly with all that roam potential. Seeing Legion being utilized, probably going to be around a lot more this time around, and Cade as well. So they're throwing some curveballs into this thing as soon as, you know, the game sits there and opens up a little more.
Now, I am expecting either the Pulse or the Kaid to actually switch here. More than likely, it's going to be Mirror's Milkers taking that 6th pick. If they don't, I had stated it before, I would love to see a Pulse in play. I absolutely think Pulse is phenomenal in Villa, but it is going to come in onto the mute. Kaid is something that has been banned a lot recently. I've seen that a lot on certain maps. I don't think Kaid is a necessity to be banned on this map because
he's
fairly easily countered. But they did ban the Thatcher pick, so that actually could be a good calculation by whichever team left that one standing or took him out. Could be a good calculation. For Rise is the one who banned Thatcher, and I think they were. That could be a very good decision.
Only issue is they only have to worry about that ace, because in terms of things, you know, we don't see any teams running exactly hard breaches, only soft breaching charges, and just kind of not having too much of, you know, breaching, having too much utilization to put themselves in a breaching situation. So, you know, ace is obviously a great choice, especially with Cade not having too much of a counter, but, you know, doing something for the team all in all. But, you know, having that situation where there's not too much you can do. Can't sit there and electrocute soft walls to counter Zafir and Ash per se. Only thing he really can do is he's just there for that ace for the most part. And I feel like that's the call they tried to make. But looking at last round, it didn't seem to be that big of a deal with, you know, Paris not making the push they wanted to make.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if you think the Kaid was a counter pick choice against the ace in play. Yeah.
I think he was a slow one.
Okay.
Like, not exactly a full counter, but something they just kind of want to consider just in case they feel like Paris didn't make too hard of a push and they're going to sit there at another form of hard breaching or just something along the lines of that. But as we see, they didn't exactly go for that. They just want to play it just as slow because, you know, they ended up winning. So
I think that Arise made the good decision here on defense with playing Kaid, but they didn't make the right decision there as Godfield does get the first frag there in this round on Raph. But continuing, they did a good choice of taking Kaid because personally I think Kyosoku really could have a great showing with Ace. This is the first time we've seen a hard breacher besides Thermite in play. We could see Ace, but I'm saying this map in general. It's the real time we've seen consistent hard breaches in the hands of the attacker. So I'd love to see things like that. Ace, even just throwing it onto a soft wall, it's not a terrible waste. He only needs to place one of them to make a hole that he can, vault through. There's a lot of viability in play. Of course, they're breaching from above. This is a very difficult objective to hold on to. It's very old school, as I've talked about before, where it's hard to hold this objective. It's very reminiscent of the older style objective that you're used to, some of the classic players are used to. So you'll see a lot of old style operators in choice for that type of map. So you'll see bandits, castles in play to shut down some of the doorway picks. We do see Vizzy does try to get that shot off, but Caillou with Hockey getting that shot back in return. Now, the Hockey does not deal much damage. The gun in the hands of that little pea shooter in the hands of Caillou is a terrible weapon when it comes to damage, but is a great weapon. Obviously, that thing is a monster. But Vizzy does actually get
Attackers have located a bomb.
to stay in this one. There's another frag, Kyosoku and H17. It's now a 2v5 situation. They need to get onto the objective and start the plant, though. This could be bad for GIP. They could be so far ahead in terms of kills, but not able to, act on it if they can't get to the objective. There is the kill they needed. The Yana is H17 dropping another one, and there it is, a flawless round for GIP. They took that one straight from above, took control of it, and they never even needed to use the ace as far as I'm aware.
Really good about that, taking their place up top, making sure they get that established area, getting all those breaches, utilizing their gadgets as best as possible, making sure they can get all these holes, peek. It didn't even really seem like they were pushing for the objective. It seemed like the whole time, they just had maybe one or two guys going down there, kind of patrolling as best as they can, not even really worrying about the objective, like I said, because at that point, you have to sit there. You're going to buy out the clock even more, but when they know they have such a strong establishment looking over these guys, I don't think they're really too worried about getting that objective down because that's just more places they have to clear to not only look at the bomb. I think they're more stressed about, at that point having to look at the guys planting the bomb, making sure they can have some cover, get those traits and things like that. And that would just use a lot more on them
Defenders,
as it would the
protect your
defensive
bombs
side.
from being defused by
I'm
attackers.
most worried about, in consideration of that shot that VIP did. I was not made aware and did not see what happened. Playing from above like that can really
Bomb
make
located by
Hockey,
attackers.
that's playing Counter right now, think twice about where he's placing these electronics. Being able to bust the floor directly above where he's placing those, and then shooting them from above, especially that one we're seeing right now to the east of the inside the kitchen. That one is a very good one. If they come from above, clear it, and then they take the ace on that east side window and clear that. It is a huge sight line into kitchen. That would be astronomically advantageous against GIP.
Oddly enough, I feel like K doesn't need too much of a counter for that kind of free play. He does have a better scope. He can sit there and do the gunplay. He definitely evens out the matchup. But in terms of gadgets, we didn't see too much hard breaking on a hatch. Like, we didn't see those attackers relying on those hatches. They were they kind of relied more on those, on the
saw hard breach on a hatch once in the entire 13, 14 rounds we just watched.
And they weren't exactly relying on that by any
Yeah, I mean, they had the entire floor opened up really and truly. They didn't even use the hatch for any real reason.
So Cade's still just looking like a slow pick at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be even slower, though. He does get his gadgets down. He's one of those operators that's useful there, but he does get dropped by Vizzy, but Sifty drops Vizzy in return. Now down to the 4v4 situation. Sifty is very low right now, so this could be a dangerous type of throw for him. And there he does. He gets the shot off, but he doesn't get the headshot that he wanted as H17 drops him in return. Sifty is down and finished off. H17 cleaning that one as a Nitro Cell goes off, but he does get damage in return. Raph now dropping down to just about 97 to 98 HP. Doesn't deal much, but they are back into a disadvantageous man, I cannot English, disadvantageous position in terms of the numerical amount of their operators left. It is a 3v4. Arise needs to rise above the occasion, as some would say, and really milk the rest of the time they have available here. And hopefully they'll be able to stop this rafter push. So I needed to make fun of it.
There you go. A lot of people, for some reason, it's funny you mentioned milk. A lot of people on League sit there and mention milk a lot for my name. Like they misread it and they see the L and they see the second for the K when it's all just one letter.
Context, his name is like Neurolab or something like that. So.
They're just like, Milk? Why is your name Milk? Just like, it's not.
I go to lobbies and people call me Infernosis, so they'll just like cut it and go Inferno. I prefer Inferno. You can say my name and say Inferno.
Just make the change, dude.
I'm not making a change, bro. I like my name, alright? I came up with
Infernosis, that's okay to change to Milk. I'm signing up for it, dude. I'm signing up for it.
He's going in. It's milk time, baby, as we head into this one. Now down to the 2v4. Mirrors, Milkers, and Chorizo, last one standing. These are their anchors. Typically speaking, Chorizo does seem to be slightly away. Playing down that stair. Indeed he is, watching the hole that was created on that south side wall. They see the man pick out. It's probably just the drone from the Iana, but they do need to know where that is. There's that shot. That was very good as Chorizo does get a kill. Now down to the 2v3. And H17 is low. God, no, goes down. Chorizo with another frag. Chorizo drops down H17 as well. 3K for him. 2v1 situation. Arise has really made the comeback right here. Chorizo, will he get the 4K? Holding that angle. He does.
Good.
The last kill.
Arise, man. You guys. Bars. Like, goodness gracious. These men
headed after that one. That was
putting themselves in situations where you get scared, but they're just like, nah, we just messing with it, man.
Arise is as I said, they arose above the occasion. So Chorizo, he is really showing off right now.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That was I believe the 4K for him there. He really cleaned up that into the round, really and truly. I think Sifty was there as the backup. I mean, Chorizo seemed to have that all under control. Now, Maestro's gun is, something that is very strong.
Yep.
So, it's not something that's like super shocking in terms of, succeeding with that rifle, but it is also, it did get that significant nerf in the fact that it doesn't have that custom sight
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, if these guys want to get some views, they can feel free to upload their comms to YouTube, kind of like how the NFL gets them mic'd up and stuff, because I'm honestly curious to hear these call-outs and making in these smaller engagements.
Excitement after Chorizo had that play. I want to hear the excitement. Because
it's just outstanding to see how they come from a deficit on so many different occasions and actually, coming back and once again to use the pun, are rising to the occasion to sit there and make sure to put themselves in situation.
When you say it, cool. Okay, I'm like, all right, I can see. I'll stop.
5 seconds
But
left.
it's just impressive. It's very impressive on their behalf. Just to sit there
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse
Stop
it.
my guns.
I mean, it's okay. It's just like the same one. It's like,
Sorry.
it's like, it's like,
Listen that Chorizo's going.
it's like dad pun's great and all, but it's like, dude, you don't sit there. I'm talking about the dad pun one that could shoot us the trigger over and over again. Chorizo, not oddly enough, putting himself in a situation where just watching that window is because he just tries to get a peek right there. But once again, it's just like, it's like a dad joke that you hear over and over and over again. It's like, I'm cool. You sit there and come with someone. It's like, haha, that's going.
I like to go for the dad jokes. I think that dad jokes, they get boring after the first one.
No, dude.
It's like boring, but it's like good. First one's good, then the next 3 are boring, then all of a sudden it's good again. Like for some, it's just funny after you just drilled it dead.
Because exactly, it's the fact that they still think it's funny every single time.
Actually, I want you to look at this. Chorizo just got died from his own Goyo shield. The Zofia is a huge counter to Goyo in terms of they launched their stuns into that room on that
Bomb located by attackers.
And he knocked out the Goyo shield. Look at Chorizo's health right now. He is going to very much so struggle to try and be that clutch person again because he cannot take any damage now.
Throwing magnet. Magnet
I
ready.
mean, it's honestly because there finds a nice, cozy little corner. Can't get snuffed out. Especially with that vector, he can put himself in a good situation.
You're a Call of Duty kid and you're telling people to camp.
I call holding the objective.
That's what it is.
You know I'm a surge player, man. So I
That's
mean,
what we
I
call
do what
it,
I can.
holding the objective. Yeah, we all have different terms for it. I think 99%
Enemy blocked terminal.
GMP is officially making a very aggressive stance here. Busy,
Yeah,
especially
no.
right now. They have great angles.
Definitely getting this push here. Probably looking to get the bomb down because these guys are pretty spread out in terms of defense right now.
Usually there is one here on the B site. There's flash grenades going out. The Nomad could have the angle to take that out. But there's Zori holding that. He switches to the flash grenade and turns, but that might be it. There it is, the shot.
No.
Gets the frag first, but H17 cleans it up in return as Vizzy takes shot through the wall, but H17 double killed, and now when Mirrors Milkers goes down, it is a 3v4, now 3v3 situation, but Zori is down. H7 is gonna play the diffuser, but it's not looking good. Shot in the back, and it's over. Nomad is also down. It is basically a 3v1 situation. Now it's stacked down to a 2v2 as Kayosuke tries to get that, but the diffuser is in fact defused. Done and done. Arise winning round 4.
Defenders win.
Well done by Arise, and they're getting back to the point, establishing themselves over there. Very unfortunate that, you know, Blake got picked off right there on the staircase. But besides that, you know, great recollection, you know, holding down, reestablishing themselves on that objective and, you know, holding out those angles, making sure that they don't get a pick or anything like that. Because that
They
seems to
played
be where
so far
most of them
back.
are coming. You know,
Yeah, they let them take it. They left one on. I mean, they really and truly they had such good pincer maneuvers. They didn't. I want to say that Gunnerz and Paris's like downfall was the fact they didn't actually counter the roam as much as they should have.
I think that's what Gunnerz and Paris needs to go for at this point because knowing Arise seems like it's such a strong objective team right now. Especially seeing in that first map how they had a very aggressive push, getting that bomb down very quickly.
In round
You know,
1,
exactly. And then now we're seeing them just retake the point very well and very coordinated wise. I think,
Defenders, protect
you
your
know,
bombs
Paris
from
just
being
needs to
defused
focus
by
more on
attackers.
those picks at this point and kind of plant a little bit slower if they can. And, you know, if they get to the point where they have to plant the bomb waiting for that last minute. I know they sat there and struggled with that, but, you know, as long as I can stay composed in that kind of situation, I think they give Arise a lot harder run for their money because they seem to be dominating, doing very well on this map and feeling out the
Attackers
slow
have discovered
pace,
the location of a
working
bomb.
it out in terms of their gadgets and doing what they can and being very impressive in terms of that.
and like GIP is gonna really want to win this one. I know it's getting late
10
in
seconds
that.
to
A lot of
insertion.
people are like, right, win it. Sorry, what was that one?
Ready.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Oh, Chorizo did get shot. He's fine. It must have been a misclick.
Attackers are
Thank you for
heading
telling
out
us
to
that.
defuse a bomb.
That is good information. That will answer a lot of questions later when I forget. And but GIP is they need to win this. I mean, they have to win this map to go to a third map to have a chance to win. I know a lot of people are like, just when Rise wins, so we can go to bed. But I mean, this is they are trying to win it out. They're trying to have the best performance they can in regards to this league. I would love to see it go to a third match, just for the fact that, like I said, these players are going to tire out, and it's going to be an entirely new game. It'll be interesting to see how they play that, even though we'll be tired and murky in terms of endurance and stamina. It's going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to let Nick here. Let me know, what is your opinion about the mirror pick? Because that is what I've been wanting the whole time.
Yeah, I basically have the same opinion. It's my opinion on the mirror pick is something that we've been waiting on. We've seen it all too much. It's a little too often. It's more just surprising to see how we've waited so long to find out and, get the eyes on it. But I feel like, ooh.
Oddville, they've left the entire objective open in terms of
Attackers
they
are
left the entire
activating
objective
the
open, and it's already been planted. It is a 3v5 situation. Scratch that 2v5 as H17 drops another frag. Chorizo, who's already been hurt, and Sifty. Now there's that frag, and it's up to Chorizo. Sifty is down here. That is not going well. Kayosuke and Vizzy finishing that one off. The mirror did not give us anything, really and truly. I mean,
They gave that point up way too easily.
that is a hard objective to hold. I will give that. It's hard.
But they had a lot of roamers as well as another issue.
I don't think
Because
they
you see that
expected
too many
them to be
guys
on it
spreading
first.
out.
They pulled in a rise. They went straight to the objective. They got on it. They took it. They had it, and it actually worked for them this time. They pulled in a rise better than a rise did.
Which I think Arise just rose a little bit too much. They rose above the objective and didn't get back down to it. We all got him, though.
That was actually really good. That one was good. That was good. I give that to you. I give you 1 pun point.
Thank you.
What is it used for? Absolutely nothing. In fact, it's more of a penalty.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Even Wesley agrees.
You
You get -1 for that one.
Alright, as we head into the next round, we're seeing the captain play once again. Thank God we're seeing Miro once again. Hopefully this one actually do, set up. Now, you in casual play at least, in a lot of ranked play, we're seeing a lot of people hanging out where where Sterling is, inside that pocket. But that entire upper floor right there is so breachable and so destructive that Arise is aware of that as well. They reached the floor in a good position to see that. They're going to head upstairs to hold that as well. They're going to try and hold the second floor above the first floor to try and get that advantage. It didn't work last time because obviously GIP either knew this was the objective they were on and just rushed it because they figured they'd be off of it,
Attackers
or they
must
just
locate and defuse
went
the
with a new
bomb.
strategy and really, went with it. They won. He spoke at length right here. He said the most words I think I've ever heard him say. He said, "I love you, Infernosis. Such a nice guy." And I love to hear that from him. He's such a cool guy. I'll be real. He actually said that they had the option to choose a different objective, but they did in fact choose the same objective, which is, you would think, shocking for the fact that they just got absolutely stumped in the last one for this exact objective, but I think they just got caught up for it. They're aware of it.
Yeah, they had a man who was down health because, of a misclick. I feel like they're just like, maybe if he wasn't put in that situation, he'll get some pop-offs like that. It's not that guy.
Dirty. Raph is, did you see his peek into that corner? I know he hasn't had as much in this one, but oh my gosh, that was dirty.
See him just kind of backing off, playing slow. Happy he got that pick and playing a little bit easier.
Reloading.
But not Mirror though. So they're kind of looking in the face of death and taking a full force right there.
Now Raph still has one of their utilities put down. They kind of put that one down really late. It could have been dangerous for that kill. There's the Ash in the ace going in really aggressively, but Godville does get down right after killing Mirror's Milkers, and Chorizo does drop Kaiosoku as well. Sunny is on, and there's the shot from above, but he doesn't get a safety. Is not able to clean that one up, and he knows the Ash is down over there. Chorizo might take the better advantage, but he's a little bit stuck. There's the impact. Rafi making his way, shoots coming out. Finish it. That's not the kill they needed. They needed to finish. Starts planning the diffuser, a 2v2 situation. That was extremely close.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
You see the Nomad puts the utility down behind.
Reloading.
That is placed. That turn right there, H17 turning at the last second. That could have been
too many timings going on there.
Good night. Zori is very aggressive here as well, on the objective already. So he's on the objective and holding. There's the shot there. We know the person is outside holding a good angle. 817 only watching one way. They might just go to the diffuser. There it is. They know the Nomad utility went off, and there's the shot on the side. They have cross angle.
Ready for that.
That was an absolute great play from them. They gotta get
great communication from the guys, locking down that point, getting that call out, locking him in that window, making sure that he can't sit there and get the retake. Great play by Arise here.
That was phenomenal. I mean, like we spoke about, Arise got caught off guard in the last one, and they really. Oh God.
That's exactly. I feel like they did that. I feel like they did it on purpose. They said, "Oh, we slipped up a little bit. You know what? We performed better on this in practice, in scrims. We can. Well, let's just go for it again. If we lose it, it just ties the game up. Besides that, if not, we can keep chugging, making sure that we had these other objectives open to us now."
Now I want to make a comment. I had spoke earlier. Of course, I'm the protection master. We all know here. I made the call earlier. I said that I believe that Arise was really had better team composition. They played better as a team. From just that right there with that cross angle, they watched that spot where H17 was sitting on that outside window.
Yeah.
Do you think that proved my point, or do you think that was everything else in that round with their coordination upstairs?
I want to say it was a combination of both to a certain extent. Like, you did have a point there, and they played into it and kind of, capitalized off what you said. But for a point as well, they also made sure
attackers need to locate and defuse
allocate themselves a little bit differently, not put them in as many sticky situations as last time, and allow themselves to rotate a little bit better, learning more from the last round. Kind of, it's always a different position from being in a scrimmage or, a ranked game as compared to being in the competitive scene. And I think they were just using that more to their advantage, knowing that we had a lead. We can sit there, let's use this as a learning experience. We know we do better about this objective, so let's sit there and not do what we did last time, but find a happy medium. Maybe we overextend sometimes. Maybe we put ourselves in a situation where it's a little bit
10
odd.
seconds to go.
But rather than just saying, forget it, we'll just move to the next objective.
seconds to
Let's
go.
try that again. Let's run it back. Slow down a little bit. Put ourselves in a better
objective is to
spot
locate a bomb and
and
defuse it.
recollect, because we can win this. And they showed themselves that round that they can sit there, they can put the offense, they can totally flip it up because they've been doing it all game. They did the last game as well, putting themselves in a situation where, we're not ever in a situation where we can't win this. So
Yeah,
let's
GMP
just
right
be a
now.
little smarter.
They're switching up. I know you spoke about it just a couple seconds ago about switching it up, and that's the right way to go. I 100% agree. They switched it up. They just went for the spawn pick. They went for 2 different angled spawn picks. They're really, I mean, it takes a while to move from the spawn on this map. It's definitely past the timer that we have here in the league. It's 5 or 3 seconds. Plenty of room for that spawn pick, and they went for it. They damaged Hockey, but Godville did get hurt in return. We did see a Valkyrie go out for a second there, but it was an elite skin Valkyrie, and they 6th picked off of it. Would have been a very interesting rehost, but Sifty goes down first. Godville showing up with the vigil play. Does finally get the kill he wanted. No, I'm worried about Arise now. They have Zero, which we have not seen much success for in the league. But we do see he has a hard breach. That is their only available hard breach besides the ace, but he does have to get up and close to use it. He knows, Godville knows the Zero is nearby. He's pushing this one kind of aggressively. From this angle, Zero gets the shot up and he wins it. Vigil goes down. That's the frag they needed as Mirror's Milkus gets his first kill in this map.
Magnet ready.
Little play by Mira's there. It's in there holding that angle. Very good job of shifting into that. Now we're going to see Raph over here in a weird situation as hoping that, he can sit there personally, put himself in a more, higher ground, put himself in an Obi-Wan kind of position, hoping to take down Anakin here. He's not exactly...
He does actually get damage. He takes a lot of damage in the Busy. I believe Busy went down and Chorizo finished that one off. That might have been the breaching round that actually did that. I'm not too sure about that. It might have just been weird positioning, but it is now a 3v3 situation, so Hockey got fragged out return there as well. Chorizo using the utility finally, 11-3 on his scoreline right now. Chorizo, we should have named him as the player we wanted to see more from, because right now he is showing up.
Going 11-3 here. Very good by him. Surprising Raph hasn't made a pushing yet, seeing his 2 teammates going to cross through the window right now.
I think Raph is trying to take this one a little bit more slow than he usually does, especially since he's going to go to the bottom floor now, apparently. Which is something you don't actually see on the map.
Exactly. Usually playing out these trades, but right now,
He's
kind
an
of
entry
going on a
fragger,
lone
plays
wolf.
the Ash, I mean...
Exactly. You want to sit there and have a kind of, especially with an entry fragger, you want to make sure to have a man on him, because it's in such a hectic situation with a player who's always put in those kind of predicaments. You want to sit there and make sure to have somebody to capitalize with them. But kind of interesting to see him go off in a lone wolf situation right now.
Bomb diffuser has to be planted here. There's just not enough time to leave it. Could do for one fake, but they're not going to do it. Chorizo gets it down. The Raph goes down from Kaiosuko, and it's now the 1v3 situation as H17 drops Mirror's Milkers. Chorizo nades the clutch, but he sees the leg. He stands up. Hitfires gets it. No, H17 team killed, but Chorizo does go down. That is the kill they needed, and there it goes. Zuri. Really close situation as we saw the team kill go into play. Oh my goodness, that could have been absolutely detrimental. 8-17 cracks it down. Thank God. Glad to see they have a little bit more humor from the rough starts we had before. Glad to see they're being humorful once again.
Well, they were also having their own little laugh over there on Arise with that team kill there. Just get there and get the trade off.
That could have been so bad for Gunnerz. That they needed this round. They needed the first round in attack to show that they're competent. First round in defense, I'm sorry, to show that they're competent in defense and they're not going to let Arise steamroll them. They want to really hold out here, and we're going to see, because I talked earlier about the one on the first floor, the objective on first floor. The dining room and kitchen is a very old style objective, and see castles a lot, but we're not seeing castle on that objective. We're actually seeing this in trophy room. Castle's very good on this one, but there is a wide open area in the center on this objective. So I would argue that Castle is less important because you can get an aerial view and a sideline view from just taking one side of the map. So I'm not sure how they're going to defend this. It's going to be very difficult for them.
It's like a hard breach from Zero here, so that really, they having something besides, just Ace alone.
It's
really good to see.
taken out. Yeah, I mean, that's That's another person that's capable of that. They're learning off of having, 817 be their carry underground for Gunnerz. In fact, early in the they had nothing left. No gas left in the tank, you would say, to make that extra track to finish off the attack. We're seeing that differently here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yes, good
5
point.
seconds to insertion.
So we talk about who you're
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and
Arise
defuse
did
it.
not touch this objective. They did not pick this one. So this is the first time we're seeing it. And I don't know if this is because GIP picked it off map. We've seen that before. The team has picked it off map and played it. And won, and we didn't mean to pick that map. Oops. Right? Or it could be that just GIP wants to throw a wrench in on the plans of Arise. Maybe Arise isn't prepared for this one, this objective. Maybe they weren't ready. If they were, then this could be miscalculations by Gunnerz. But we'll see as it progresses. It's a lot of roaming potential on defense, though, with Gonville and busy.
Adding Overwatch.
And there's 817 from that window. A great pick by Raph, the entry frag, shutting down that early.
That was quick.
That was very quick,
Very
especially
quick.
since 817 is their top frag in defense. That's a very important pick for Arise.
Pulling things out here, got a little bit of downtime with these guys, holding out
Attackers
these
have
angles.
located a
What
bomb.
I'm really pushing right now is looking like the bomb and some drones, get some intel, and make sure they can play this safe. Because Godville's got that middle window kind of hung out where usually is a pretty popular kind of entry point there, but instead we get a lot of guys coming from off the side, making their way across the map,
Throwing magnet.
kind of looking for a collective position.
I'm picked.
Now, defense is very much so hold up in strange areas. There's hockey. They're not using their stun there, which actually would be very useful for them because there is that player hiding right there, as we can see through the wall. Would be very viable to use that stun, would give them the information they need. But hockey is not doing that. So this actually could be a bad situation. There's that shot as Sniffy begins the kill. He gets double kill, dropping down Vizzy, who had just dropped Chorizo as well. And now another kill dropping. That's the Zafia dropping out for the count as Zori shuts down hockey. 3v2 situation. Godville and Zori are the only ones left, but Godville does drop down Raph with a pistol kill. And a second pistol kill, dropping down Mirror's Milkers. It's just Sifty in a 1v2, and there it is as Zori cleans up with the SG-11.
Showing themselves, you know. I'm really loving this back and forth. I just got to point that out. Like these guys,
I love this.
It's it may be getting late. People could get fed up with all the kind of technicalities we had earlier, but nonetheless, seeing both these teams kind of not giving it up, giving us a run for our money with each game. It's just great to see, to show that these guys are all kind of on their A game. They're not really letting up. They're constantly adapting, constantly finding new ways to play the game against each other, and just utilizing new kinds of strategies. And it's really nice to see that the game's just there's no point today where it feels like it's going to be over until it gets to that third map and they get tired. But as it's looking right now, they're still adapting to each other really well, and making sure that there's still a game to watch in the long run of things.
Let's talk. Sorry, Wes, what was that? Yeah, I was just about to talk about that, Wes. Sorry, I couldn't stop myself from laughing during that. I apologize. We're seeing two strange picks, one on each side. We're seeing, in terms of defense, kind of slightly picking up Pulse, which I had said multiple times I'd love to see a Pulse in this map. It's very good, very strong. Especially we're going to see old-style defenders on this objective. Spoke about it before. Great to see old-style defenders here. On attack, we're seeing a Fuse. And I actually think this is genius. Arise had to defend this objective from GIP earlier, and they had a very, very hard time doing it. They only won once because Chorizo absolutely clutched up and saved them from that deficit they were in, getting a 4K to win that round. They are aware that it is very hard to hold this from below, and they are going to have to clear out some of the tighter angles that you can't reach from above. And what better way to do that than a cluster of grenades? Notice how Godville broke that window. This man is a professional spawn peeker. Notice as he doesn't actually break the window itself, the glass, so that the glass is still there, and they actually don't see it immediately that the barricade behind it is broken.
Very threatening, especially on somebody like Vigil, who usually excels with these rumor kind of situations, being able to set them up very well, not being able to be seen by drones. About to probably use it here again in terms of when it comes down to, Raph droning here. Probably
We're
going to
seeing-
move in on that, seeing where it's coming from. Probably going to capitalize off that if he's smart enough to sit there and close off that window as soon as Raf wants to make an entry. Just kind of camping out there on the roof.
I think GIP has picked up the Vigil pick for Godville, not just because he's done very well with Godville, but also because notice the drone economy for Arise right now. Look at Kaisoku doing a little bit of a teabag there. He knows where they are. He's just kind of letting us all know that he knows as well. But notice the drone economy for Arise. There is only one drone taken out for the entire. No, sorry, 2 drones now taken out for the entire team. All of the other ones are still in play. And that having Vigil still alive there is highly important. And in fact, it still is as he drops out Sifty. Sifty dies here. That is the Nomad out for the play. I believe they only got 1 utility off throughout all of that. And there it is right there on the floor, which is a very common spot. You've seen that in SCS as well. I watched Avon earlier. That was a very common position. There's the fuse from above, clearing out the angles they need to. Do they get any kills with it? They don't. They throw a nitro cell from below to try and explode it. They do get half of it. They're trying to just remove information from the defensive side of any hiding hole they can currently sit inside of. There's the enemy. There's the shot, and Godville goes down. That is a sick headshot by Raf. Great trigger placement there. And Trigger Disman didn't just spray as he entered. Godville did, and there's Raf for the second kill. Zori last bullets. Wow, Zowie's going out.
Zori just kind of taking
Like
that in terms
Zords.
of the hearing the whole thing, I'm sure, unless he's got his headset on backwards. But that whole thing, he just kind of let play out. He gave Raf plenty of time to sit there and grab the man.
Speaking of Raf, he kind of hit his own leg there for a minute with his
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's buffed it out. He's got the kills to buff it out. He's good.
He is very much so succeeding in this round right now. Raf is. We love to see that from Raf himself. Obviously, not from Ash in this round, switching out. I think with the AK-12, they have 2 AK-12s on their team. Chorizo does get a frag as well here. 817 goes down. Vizzy is very low. He gets down, but not before he drops out Raf. Raf is out for the count of talk. He gets a frag in return. It's now down to the 3v1 situation. The pulse, which I so desired, is in play. He has to clutch this one up. Shots from behind, manages to hurt, but not finish. The gun does not do much damage, and there it is. Chorizo, AK-12 in hand, shuts down in the PM. They're just shooting the man himself on the floor. That was a brutal thing to switch to right there. And here it is, absolutely just toxic. Love to see stuff like that.
Does all the people in Chorizo really have the permission to do that after almost? I want to point this out. Was I the only one who almost saw that man pop mirrors right there? Dude turned and full triggered that man. Like he was just like, "No, I got this, Chief. I do it myself."
Yeah, the muscle memory, absolute insanity. Now we saw it earlier as well when I believe it was H17 just shot his teammate. Just turned and flicked him. I mean, they luckily clutched it out. I believe it was
I
Zori.
love all these quote-unquote misclicks tonight. They're pretty entertaining to watch.
We also saw that misclick early on in the rehost game where they just domed each other. Like, I mean, there was no
Attackers need to locate and defuse them.
But that is Arise's round for them. It's now 5 and 4.
Staying in the advantage here.
Yeah.
Hoping they're sitting there and carry that out till, the 7th round at least, trying to go ahead and grab that. As long as they can grab this advantage here, I think everybody feels like it's a set for the night. But we always have Paris sitting here with 4 rounds, trying to stay alive and keep things together. And we don't exactly see the fuse again from Chorizo, which is kind of odd to see. No, it wasn't Chorizo, excuse me, it was Rab.
It was Rab. I don't think Fuse is a great one on this because there's no aerial, place to do that. I do think that Kaisoku could still do very well on Pulse on this one, and I love to see that. I think what determined that round, especially in the favor of Arise, was the fact that the Fuse has to sit still to put that down, which gives the time the Pulse to mark, throw the C4, or even tell his teammate to throw the Nitro Cell. There was a lot of wasted Nitro Cells that didn't get frags that could have when Pulse is manning and giving that information. So it could be that Kaisoku just didn't give the right information, didn't give it in time, or that his teammates just didn't pay attention to the information. But I think the Pulse was a good pick. They just didn't play off of the Pulse enough. H17 down and out for the count.
Reloading!
Go ahead and get in there. And we got another man sitting there watching. Probably, who is it? Well, mine.
Look at this spot he's in right there. He does get spotted, and that was dirty. He's gonna back up. He was very scared right now. But Hockey should have been scared as well. Godville coming from the side from below, I think, and taking out Hockey. Nomad putting the utilities down. We're actually seeing the Nomad get all of their utilities down. We did see them die earlier without getting all of them, but they do successfully get it this time. Safety finally dropping all of those. We see Raph running out. Godville is playing a little bit below. Can rotate around. See how this pans out. Nomad taking it slow. We do see Chorizo with the diffuser taking it slow as well. Great thing that being able to ping that proximity mine and proximity sensor, all of these, and let them know so the Ash can spray through a wall. Great positioning by them. They were swinging a miss many times. I think that is muted actually, and it's not going off. He is aware of that now. This is where Zero is going to shine. If we look up, does get shut down actually. That is one of his things gone. He's not going to use it over there. He
Oh my goodness, man.
He dies. What as Kyosoku goes down. Gets the kill on Mirror's Milkers. Huge waste by Mirrors to not just play the safe angle and get that ace charge successfully put down by destroying the mute jammer. They do eventually get it for breaking the floor below, but it could have been handled by the Zero.
He knew that first one got shut down. Why did he go back for that? If he knew somebody was possibly watching that angle.
I have no. Game has progressed. We're at a stage where it's 5-4 right, 9 rounds in this one. It could just be the tire thing I was talking about. We do see Vizzy gets a frag, but he's getting pushed aggressively by Chorizo, but it's not letting that one stand. Vizzy dropping the double kill back to back. Now it's Raph just staring. He's directly on the head of this. This is a vac moment right now. As he flicks and turns the other direction. We got that. Battle Eye is out here. We got your position, Raph. We know your IP address. It's all over.
15 seconds left.
Raph is gonna have to play safe, and he doesn't. He's pushing this aggressively, and he goes down. Shot by 3 different players on Arise's side and did not die. 12-7 right now.
Once again, pairs showing that, game's not over. They're going to keep on pulling it out here. They're going to put it 5-5, probably 6-5, then 6-6. And then once again, going into overtime, giving us that kind of lead that we're talking about and talking about these games, them drawing out as much as possible. But great performance from both teams here tonight, regardless of the outturn. Everybody kind of competing to the highest level as they can tonight, really showing the promise that each team has here tonight in terms of adaptability, confidence, cooperation, everything just being on spotlight here tonight for the most part with this back-to-back, just kind of back and forth, back and forth. Thankfully, seeing the visual again, once again, with Godville doing a great performance the first round. He broke it out. At this point, not seeing much like a trump card, seeing more as a kind of consistent performance from him, making it more predictable for the enemy team. But nonetheless, great performance by him, and he's going to try and hold that out as best as possible. But regardless, Busy, kind of being a sleeper tonight. I know I called him out earlier, but besides that,
with his call out right there, I'm 100% on that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get to see too much of him, and I'm kind of disappointed in Hockey here going 5-7 runs OP the whole time.
We both called that. We were both really excited for his fragging potential as that.
5 seconds left.
It is not panning out.
Yeah, we're not seeing too much out of him, but besides that,
not seeing too much. Mirror's Milkers, we saw had that little bit of a weird decision in the last
Yeah.
round for playing Zero, and he's just had not great decision making overall. Apparently, he's 1-8.
And I think that's exactly why they still have Chorizos at Hibana. But oddly enough, not seeing any hard breachers anywhere else. I don't think we're seeing Mirrors get to the point where he can be that backup for the hard breach. But Chorizo's holding out his own to where it almost seems as if at this point he doesn't need the backup. Let Mirrors play what he needs to play or what he wants to play. Let him feel comfortable with the guns he's using, because for the most part, Chorizo's really just holding out his own here. Making sure to get those frags everywhere he can, and establishing himself in this match as a whole. Really just going positive and just holding things down as best he can. Hockey doing a great job here, as we called him out earlier. Getting on that point, getting on the top floor, and establishing themselves and giving the team a read around there.
We see that Godville follows that one up pretty quickly, shutting down Miras. Once again, Miras now 1-9. Here's across. We did see a great coordination. I talked about how Rise has really got that team work going for them. We saw the Hockey holding that angle as well as Raph, forcing that Godville had to drop the floor below, taking the hatch. Stayed out of it alive. He managed to get a little bit going for him there, but all in all, it's there's way more team coordination, in my opinion, in Arise, which
A
could
bomb
be
has been
a complete
located.
downfall of GIP. I'm honestly shocked that GIP is as close as it is with how well Arise is playing together. It just goes to show you how good Gunville and H17 really can be when all three of them are fragging to their fullest potential.
One thing I do want to point out, which is still kind of hard to figure out, is why they have Chorizo. I get he's doing very well with these hard breaches and these frags and all, but starting off with a round, going off in a solo roam kind of area, and if he's got the bomb in such an objective-based game mode, Chorizo doing great right there as we're talking about him. But
He knows we're talking about him. He's trying to show off.
But just doing a great job in terms of like getting frags and all. Besides that, an objective-based game mode, not staying with the team. Like
There's a lot of spread for them right now. I think
It
that is
feels-
honestly needed for such a nice map, though.
yeah, but it feels like they're almost committing either to a map, right off the bat in terms of how well spread they are. If it comes down to if they're going for frags, they're going for objective, which allows GIP a lot of opportunities to kind of
Located the
adapt.
diffuser.
We do see that Chorizo gets the bomb down, but gets fragged right back to return. That's the shotgun as Tori gets a shot through the wall. It's now up to a 1v3 situation as Raph needs to get 3 kills and hold this one. He gets a shot from the side. Diffuser is planted. They'll get the defuse fairly readily as Zori gets another frag to his name. 7 and 4. He's doing very well as well. We've talked about before, at least I have. I know I've talked
Bomb
to you about
diffuser
as well.
disabled by defenders.
A team that has a very
Bomb
even
defusing attempt
scoreboard
failed.
is
Defenders
typically
win.
the team that wins. It's very rare to find a team with a lopsided scoreboard such as Arises right now with 15 kills and Chorizo and really just not much for everyone else. But GIP has a little bit of a lopsided. There's the middle utility players that aren't doing as much, but their top players are really showing their top players, and it's even around the board. So I think GIP is probably going to win this one just based on their scoreboard, but I'd love to be shocked and see Arise make the comeback and have Chorizo do what Chorizo does best, which is clutch up and show us where the money is.
Which I think with how late it is getting now, I think everybody would love to be shocked.
I
But
think everybody here would greatly appreciate the shock from Arise.
but besides that, we got to point out how GIP has their first lead here on this map with a lot of back and forth and finally evening it out and getting 2 on the board consecutively rather than just kind of retaliating and answering back towards Rise and really fighting for a third map here because I'm sure they don't want to go down after everything that happened. They want to sit there and put themselves on the board, possibly win this and
Attackers need to locate and defuse
make a
the bomb.
statement after a little bit of slacking going on that first map. They're making sure that they're not out of it, and they want to show Arise that don't get sleepy on this yet. We still got a game to play. I know everybody's kind of out of here.
Wes is gonna say something. Okay, so I was just starting with a 50 split if Arise wins this one. Arise will attack the overtime. So Arise would have the decision. This is going to be hard for us. I mean, I argue usually that most maps are typically, I want to say
5
attacker
seconds
sided
left.
when it comes to lower floor objectives. I want to argue especially that this map is very
Attacker
attacker
objective is to
sided
locate a
because
bomb
the
and defuse it.
basement and the first floor, both first floor objectives are very difficult to hold on to in any for any objective. I know secure area for basement, but it's very difficult for defenders to hold on because of how good playing aerially is playing laterally can be for a team. But GIP really showing up. They have won rounds back to back on defense. They're really showing that even though their defense is very good for them, they're not letting it get to them, and they're really going to shut down everything that Rise tries to put up. We've seen Chorizo switching to his classic style pick here, though. I mean, we're seeing him back on Gridlock. We'll see if Gridlock decides to, how they decide to play this. There's the Nitro Cell. He steps away and he gets it, but Hockey does take a lot of damage. That was a very far Nitro Cell, but he does actually get the frag as well. Sorry, not Hockey doesn't get that frag. It's actually Roth on the backside. Great flank, great teamwork. As I've said, Arise has that amazing team coordination. Shows once again, taking the second floor quite handily. As Gunville makes his rotation around to try and get a pick, but I think he's back in fear, which is very easy to understand right now as the attackers have very aggressively stood their way up here.
I think at this point, Arise, they're kind of, I think this is the wake up they needed tonight. They were kind of taking it along, doing what they can, just easing along to a certain extent and just getting answered to every single time.
And GIP put them in this position where they're like, hey, if we win this, it's over. We're going to be going to a third map. And I'm sure Rise doesn't want that at this point, especially if they're slowing down by any means. And they're going to sit there and put themselves in a position.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Raph actually got a kill with the fuse. And then we do see he gets a second kill with the fuse. Raph with a double kill with just the fuse utility, but Godville does frag in return. Like I said, Pulse is the key player on that objective when they're in their strategy they're picking, and it just isn't working. They're not getting that off. And there's Godville successfully using the plant as a cover, shutting down Sifty. Now down to the 3v2. We know that Chorizo clutched this one up on attack, and he can Godville show that he can do it up as well. Godville now 3 kills back to back. Hockey planting the diffuser. Zori and Godville now stuck defending this one and having to play the replant. There's from behind. Zori is outside, and he really tried to play them on the backside, but you can spot it almost immediately now. And there's a shot from above. Godville manages to drop Gridlock. It's now up to the 1v2 situation. If they can't pick the Gridlock back up, there's the impact from below, shutting that one down. Godville getting that frag now down to the 1v1. Godville v Hockey. Hockey is at 48 HP, and Godville is about 79 HP. There's the flank from behind. He gets the angle. He sees the gun. This is the information Godville needs. Makes the shot. He's about to get it.
He's playing time.
A huge step back. This is big. He has to gut this now. And he moves. No, that's it.
Oh my God, Ryan!
Positioning. That is what we love to see. I had a hiccup after that.
That was hectic. No, I understand, man.
10,000 IQ from Zafia.
God. Man realized he needed to play time. He backed out, had a little strafe there, and knew, oh, I can't commit to this right now. If I lose this, it's over. Sitting there trying to distract as much as possible, putting Godville in this situation where he has to sit there and make a decision. Go for the plant and possibly suicide, or sit there and go for the man and try and get that pick and get it as quick as possible. And, you know, you saw Rise sit there and make the most of that situation right there, trying to pick that out and doing a really good job with that decision-making right there on the point.
That was probably the best player we've seen from Hockey in terms of having to come into his own self in this round. I mean, it was all up to him in that situation. It was going to be over if he didn't clutch that, and he outsmarted, outgunned, and outperformed Godville, and that's honestly shocking considering Godville dropped that 3K there at the end. Oh, phenomenal performance from him.
I think that makes up for the call.
Win that one.
That makes up for the call. He's been slacking all game, but we knew.
We
both knew. We both knew he was gonna have his moment there.
If Rise wins this off of getting into overtime, it's all on Hockey. It's all Hockey doing that, unless there's a big play where another player on Rise has to clutch it to win an overtime round.
So
Rise wins this, it's all because of Hockey.
Is this a 4-2 or is this just a 2-point advantage? Excuse me for my ignorance.
Ask Wes.
Was this? You said it was a 4-2 split for overtime. Now, does that mean? So is it?
10 seconds left before insertion.
Okay, got you.
5 seconds to go.
So, obviously, Arise is attacking first, and it's going to switch.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Now, this round's going to determine it. Arise just won an attacking round. They just had that big play they needed, but Godville had an even bigger play. Godville's going to have just a crap ton of confidence after that round. Despite losing that one, it was very close. He dropped a huge amount of frags, passing Vizzy for top frags on his team. He's going to be a force to reckon with, and it's going to be very difficult to deal with him.
I have to, a certain extent, say that Godville is just in that zone right now. He's been getting these frags all game. He's been very consistent. I think this is more impactful for Arise, personally, with, you know, Hockey finally putting his name back on the board in that round right there. Showing, you know, that, guys, I don't care what I've done all game. I don't care if I haven't sat there and not gone the most positive. I made up for it. We're all spreading ourselves equally in this game now, and we're back in this. We're in overtime. Let's go ahead and get this over, win it, and make sure that we put pairs where they're supposed to be. And let's, you know, we make jokes about, you know, casual good nights. Let's put them to bed. Let's make sure to end this and make sure they go to bed out.
I know Paris is famous for their catacombs. I'm pretty sure Arise is trying to bury them deeper than the catacombs go. They're trying to end this one out officially, and it's not going well so far for them as Hockey has taken a lot of damage. There was a nitro cell from below from H17, just barely not killing. I mean, it was extremely close in regards to when the nitro cell was exploded. Gridlock shutting off the angle. They're not rocking a Nomad to do that. They're using Gridlock, which of course we know Chorizo is extremely comfortable on. Saw a ton of it in previous matches as well as the last map. Raph cleaning out, dropping out some of those defensive utilities with a breaching charge. We see Havana, Sifty, I should say, upside down, taking use of that, but Miras Milkers getting dropped by Busy, but Chorizo drops H17. Those are frags in both directions, 4v4 situation now in play. Chorizo is hiding in this north hallway inside that little side room, and he needs to be careful from the flank from behind his me. Godville is below right now. And there is the Melusi gadget in play. If they have the zombie to shut that down, they don't, and they don't have a breaching charge in play either. It's going to be very dangerous to push from that doorway, and it is as Chorizo gets hurt in the process, and he drops out Vizzy, and another kill dropping as that a kill goes in the favor of GIP, and Zori drops down Hockey. It's now a 3v3. Godville still below. Not sure where he's going to come up or how he's going to come up, but it is a very good situation for him as most of the attackers are very low. At least Chorizo is extremely low. But Kaiosuku drops Raph. Sifty drops Kaiosuku. Trade for trade. Now another kill drops, and Chorizo goes down with the fuser. That is a huge pick as Zori manages to kill Godville. That is a team kill. We saw Zori get another team kill earlier, and that is not good. Sifty v Zori. There's the shot. Zori just watching Sifty. Great cleanup by GIP. That is the round they needed as they head now into the attacking section. It was a great audio cue to listen into where that diffuser got picked back up.
Was. Lots of back and forth there, keeping us on our toes. I'm really liking how this overtime's looking, especially with that last run to open all this up. Making sure we get some high contact, high action kind of rounds going on here with a lot of going on, a lot of things to talk about, you know, keeping the game interactive as possible.
Chat just caught up to the 6-6 tie for the overtime. A lot of no's and OMG no's, and some people saying we've done it, we've won, but then getting thrown right back away, not going in their favor. Gunnerz in Paris pick for. Okay, yeah. Gunnerz in Paris chose this map, so they had the
Defenders,
the opportunity. This is their map. I mean, in all honesty, they've done a good job of showing this is their map. They gave Arise a run for their money in the first map. Even though Arise chose it, they did a very good job there. GIP has done a very good job, but Arise has given them a run for money on their map. Map 3 would be a toss-up, however. If it does go to that, GIP wins this one, it could be a huge deficit for Arise. I know everyone is getting tired, not just the audience, not just me, but the players themselves are going to make huge differences in their playstyle as they begin to tire out as we go on. I know this match was delayed quite often, just not just delayed as the rehost and things had to come into play and the drama that happened previously, but it had to be delayed just in general as we were trying to get West set up, which has done a great job so far. Great job. Thank you once again, Wes.
Attackers are
coming
moving
here and
out to
joining
locate
us.
a bomb and defuse it.
Make sure to check out all of his socials as he'll come up during the commentary. Love to have Wes here again. Thank you very much, Nick, as well, for coming in again. I know this was couldn't have my usual partner Shield here, so we brought in Nick. I work very well with Nick. I know Nick. I want to believe he works very well with me. We get along pretty damn well. So.
I try my best to tolerate you. I'm just
I see how. All right. I'm gonna bring a new partner in.
I'm just like, dude. You know I love you, but not that much. Not as much as we're talking.
Right. Yeah, tolerating love. So you're like my father, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So just.
I mean, it's sad to hear, but you know, my condolences. But for the most part, you know, what you get at least.
All right, so we're gonna get into this round, as I am sad to a whole degree. We see Vizzy is taking a drone out onto that south side. They're gathering information. That's one thing that GIP did a very good job of shut down. But we do see the first frag actually as the Ella goes down. That is Godville fragging out Raph. Raph is a huge frag potential for Rome, and that is out for the count. We do see Miras Milkers, who has been struggling so far within a 1-11 scoreline, is not looking hot right now. This could go GIP's favor. The only other roamer they currently have available besides maybe the Womai, they may be actually using Womai as a roam. Hopefully they are, because Hockey is desperately needing to show up here, but Mira has been struggling.
And if they win this goes into the third map, doesn't it, for GIP?
This does go to the overtime map. Now, they are aware that their hold up in that corner is a very strong place to hold up. They're aware of it. They see the ace. That's probably muted. If they had a zero like Arise was using, they could bust that. I do not believe they do, but it's not actually muted. They actually get that one clear. And that is a huge angle that they need for this attack to shut down that. Hockey gets a frag here, dropping out Godville. Huge pick for him. Flashbang's being cooked. We do have a lot of nitro cells left and a nade in the hand of Iana still. There's the push. He takes that in a great showing right there. Pushes as they're going and switching weapons off that utility. That is an amazing frag for the defensive side here for Arise.
Great job by Goyo
Frag
there.
as well. Oh no, it gets traded back. H17 now down to the 3v2. H17 and Zori need to clutch this one up if they want to go to round 3. And Zori does. He drops out Chorizo. Huge pick. Another one going. H17 dropping Mirrors Milkers. Now in a 2v1. Sifty versus H17 and Zori. Diffuser has to go down 20 seconds on the clock.
Attackers have located a bomb. 15 seconds to go.
There is no C4. It is only a camera right now. Sifty is going to have to clutch.
10 seconds remaining.
Gemini destroyed.
This very passively initially, but he does get.
Oh!
He's gonna have to go for the kill. Sifty alone. As he starts the diffuser, he can't. H17 is unable to. He should have gone for the diffuser.
Oh! Arise!
That was an amazing play.
Goodness gracious, we're just seeing the
Good
crowd's
night,
reaction
guys.
from the last
Absolutely
round. Wait till they
wild.
see this one. Goodness gracious, man.
We're heading into round 15 for this one, and I mean, we went to what, round 14 in the last map, so this is we're gonna go to 30 rounds here, boys.
Oh, man. Well, let's hope my teacher has grades for that quiz, because I know I ain't taking that tonight. But it's not. I just signed up for the class today, so we'll be excused. I can find something to buff it out tomorrow with. We're good. I just joined today, so I mean, you can't expect a man on his first day to do that. So we'll be fine.
This is absolutely wild right now. I know that everyone is pretty, annoyed
Defenders,
that
protect
maybe,
your bombs from
we
being
could go to a
defused by
map 3, you're
attackers.
tired and all around, but Arise. I mean, it was a 1v2 situation. Sifty had to hold down in defense there all alone, and he got the one pick he needed. I don't think GIP was ready for where Sifty was going to come from. I think they expected him to go through bank, which is why they hid behind the bank door instead of hiding more in the corner. And just wall on the southwest side of that one. I am absolutely excited though. We're seeing it switch back in Chorizo at the hands of Grimlock. We know that Chorizo. Will he drop a 20 bomb?
To insertion.
That would probably be the best ball.
Yeah, I believe
Attackers
so.
must locate and
It's
defuse a bomb.
it's only too easy to assume at this point.
I think it was either done by Dark Space or by Dexterity, right? Oh, okay. I know that Dexterity and Dark Space dropped 8. They had a couple players that dropped 8. Now we're seeing once again Raph. He loves to hang on that outside window, and we know Godville hangs below to impact that floor and take the shot from there. But Raph doesn't want to stick there. He doesn't want to risk getting shot, as Hockey is holding that angle as well. They know, at least they're aware that they're not in the corner here. And Hockey's going to play this very aggressive as he cures. But we do see that Kaiosuke goes down. I believe that was Raph that dropped him. I could be incorrect about that, but that is a huge down. And there's the finish. Goyo out for the count. Hockey dropping that kill.
Attackers
5v4
located a
situation
bomb.
very early on.
Arise once again. They're back in this showing. We're gonna get a pick. They're really. I think they're wanting to go to bed. I'll be honest with
I
you.
would play my absolute heart out to go to bed as early as
I'm
possible. in
talking
this
just
situation.
exhausted out. Who cares, man? You're getting up tomorrow anyways.
I mean, think
Worry about
it
them
like
VODs
this.
later, Chief.
Yeah,
Bomb has been
for real.
located.
I think about it like this. With GIP in this last scenario, they're going, if they win this, they're gonna have to play their absolute best, full sin. So much mentality gonna have to be used, and it's gonna take a lot out of them.
Yeah.
That will change map 3. That will
Attackers
guarantee
bomb
their
diffuser
time
has
going to
been
map 3.
dropped.
But Zori not tired yet. Dropping out Chorizo. Chorizo, 19 kills, not able to drop the 20 bomb in this one. I was willing to make that bet, and
That is if
I wouldn't got
GIP
it.
sits there and managed to get it out right here. If Arise somehow steps up and gets his clutch going in, then he's going to have one more chance to just kind of pick up the 20 bomb if he needs it.
I mean, just look at the stat line of GIP right now. 14 kills and 11. 15 kills and 9. 11 and 11. 11 and 6. So many kills in the double digits. Oh, we do
hopefully,
see someone in the tub. This isn't a beach. This is a bathtub. I called it earlier, and we are indeed seeing it. Wes called it out for me. Thank you. There's a shot from Miller. He begins to head out of the hot tub. He does not like the heat. Can't handle the heat. Stay out of the hot tub. Not the kitchen this time. He heads to the other side of the observatory. He gets that shot. Kite going down. Vizzy gets the frag and return as Hockey gets that kill back. Traded onto Vizzy. Now down to the 3v3 situation as Mirznoka starts the diffuser down, but Sifty shuts down Godville. 3v2. It's not looking good for GIP as they're going to have to pay the diffuser. And 1v3 as Sifty is not letting this game go against him.
H17 in a really tough spot here. He's having to re-infiltrate. He's not already inside. He's not able to clutch point, and he's already getting poked out here too.
And Habana is not getting an entity. They are Sifty. Drops H17. Game set and done. Arising above the occasion in overtime. All odds against them, and that one is they to make the huge comeback, and they win it all. Holy
What
crap.
a damn night.
Holy crap. If I just... I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. Usually the team with the even stat line wins it out, but Chorizo, the thick lad himself right there in the gridlock,
Make it
climbing
up for
above the
Miraz
competition.
here, I have to point out. Because Miraz, I don't feel like he felt all that comfortable in this last
Mira.
match.
They won that with Mira.
He's already out.
Yeah,
the rest of the team's still...
won that with Mira going 1-11.
He did get that last plant, which I was very thankful for, because in the big scheme of things, that really helped out. Made sure to put their team in the position where they had to sit there and get pushed somehow. You know, really stepping up and putting them in a good situation. Whether or not he got popped off, I don't think they were really too concerned about that. They were using that to their advantage to know, hey, you know, we can let this guy push in. We can let him get, you know, killed if he has to be, as terrible as it may sound. But he still has deserved a spot here. So, you know, regardless of his KD tonight, he still contributed any way he could. So glad to see that Arise can, you know, come up, make sure they step up and get that comeback.
Occasion, you know. Make us very upset with me. So, Wes, if you want to switch us so we can see the OBS screen so we can see some of the stat lines, because I think that is probably being pulled up, right?
Oh, yeah. One sec.
So
I have it on us
that,
right now, but I will switch it over.
We can comment a little bit more in depth, because I know trying to remember that's a little bit difficult, especially at this late, and especially with such a wide and just strange scoreboard. I mean, just Mirznoka's going 1-11 and still them winning the game is crazy. So we didn't see Cafe Dostoevsky, which, just by the way, that alone would make me root for Arise, because I cannot stand casting that map. Oh my gosh, it's just go to the top floor to the roof and just pray. We didn't see that, but we do see that that was a huge scoreline. It went to overtime in both maps, absolutely wild in every regard. So just judging between the two games, obviously Arise is going to have a huge showing in the league, and Gunnerz and Paris really, they're not far behind. I mean, the fact that they were able to go to overtimes both times, very close matches, astronomically small differences giving them the win, giving Arise the win. Gunnerz and Paris has a very good shot in the league. When they face up again, whenever that is, it could go the entirely other direction, because Gunnerz, obviously, in my opinion, I don't know if either Wes or Mick would agree with me, Gunnerz was better prepared for this. I think they watched more VODs. I think they watched more gameplay of Arise and prepared against Arise's strategies. They obviously shut down the smoke. They didn't want smoke being played by Chorizo. And that obviously made a huge difference on the first map. It was still very close. The counter picks by them were spot on. It's just maybe the second map, Arise was a little bit better than they anticipated on it. But yeah, I think that Arise had the better team coordination, but you know, Gunnerz in Paris was way better prepared.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more myself. You know, Gunnerz, they seem to have a lot of things laid out, but when you have something so solid and you have so much coordination from people like Arise, as long as they can nitpick those things and find those weaknesses to exploit, they took advantage of it. And every single game you had a guy stepping up, you know, especially in that second match with Chorizo almost getting that 20 bomb, like that alone showed that the team, it didn't matter how well you were prepared. As long as you had that retaliation, you had that change in tactics and that shift in coordination constantly, it doesn't matter how prepared you are, you still have to have that communication. You know, you can go over layouts, you can go over plans all day, but as soon as it comes down to the actual match, it's a totally different game. You have to sit there, you have to step up, you have to make sure that guys aren't going to be where you usually call them out to be. It doesn't matter how often that somebody's here on this corner or someone here on this corner, and you can pick them as many times as you want. But if they ever throw a curveball in there to make sure, you know, to get the pick on you, you got to be able to adapt to that. And that's exactly what Arise did. They made sure, okay, they got this laid out. They're very predictable. We can read them like a book right now. Let's make them adapt. And that's exactly what they did. They put them in a really weird situation, which is exactly what they wanted. And for somebody who's as well prepared and gets thrown out of the whiz like that, it messes with the team's head, especially if they can't coordinate as well as somebody as Arise did tonight.
I honestly, in every regard, I think that Arise they had such good combination with team strategy. They were holding each other's angles. They had such good teamwork when it came to, especially with Raph going into windows and Hockey cleaning up anyone that was watching that. You saw that a lot with Godville. Eventually, Godville got tired of getting fragged out, and he would go to the floor below. I mean, it was just things like that. I mean, Godville was prepared. He knew that they would go to these situations, but Hockey read that after the first 2 rounds went in the favor of Godville taking those frags. He read that and switched it up. I mean, Hockey came in to back it up, and that's what they needed. I think Arise had those. They were read like a book at the beginning. I think that Gunnerz and Paris they had them, from round 1. They rushed, and they still didn't get it. It didn't go in their favor.
Sorry to interrupt. We do have an interview available, though, so we're going to drag him in.
Bring him in.
This is going to be the owner, Kodo, and I don't know if he wants someone else, so I'll ask when he comes in if they wanted
We'll
to
bring
play.
Hockey in as well afterwards. How about that? We'll do Kodo and then Hockey.
All right.
Do it quick.
So should be here now, I believe.
Kodo, are you here with us?
Yeah, I'm not really supposed to talk. It's mainly Hockey, so
Oh,
if
okay.
you want to move him in.
You want Hockey to come in, or we'll bring Hockey in?
Yeah, gotcha.
There we go.
Hockey, how you doing, dude?
Hello, cutie. I'm doing great.
What do you mean, hello, cutie?
Oh,
What you mean?
All right, I see how it is. All right, so I've been speaking about in length right now, talking about the teams and how it's been facing off right now. And one thing I've especially noticed is that Paris had you guys read like a book in both maps. They had a lot of your strategies in place. They knew how you were going to do it. And it really caught you off guard for the first few rounds. But afterwards, you guys immediately counted it, how Godville would take out Raph holding on the outside ledge, but then you would come up and you would clean up Godville even before he could get the frags in the later rounds. You adapted to that before, Gunnerz was able to get too big of a lead. I want to know, especially with the fact that I honestly believed your guys worked better as a team than Gunnerz did. Gunnerz was better prepared, but you guys just were a better team coherently. How much do you guys have to work together to get such good coordination, and how clear do your comms have to be for that?
I mean, our comms are low-key kind of all jumbled up depending on which situation, but we try to keep them like nice and silent when we can. And it just takes practice. We play at least a scrim a week, if not more. We try to do more unless like schedules don't line up and stuff, especially with all of us starting school back up and people starting work. We're not really sure how it's going on. Spam's one of them. He hasn't been here for our past 2 games because he had school starting last game, and today he had baseball practice. But a lot of it is just working together, talking. We like to joke around a lot, just to like bring up the vibes, keep it happy, try not to get low. If something's happening, we reset. Like in Coastline, when we lost the kitchen, we had Cho just sit outside, waste time so we can talk about it, reset, figure out what's going on, and then proceeded.
Now, I was going to comment about, Chorizo sitting outside on that kitchen push as well, because he had bought a lot of time and just kind of waited it out. I want to talk about, you said that you were keeping your comms clean, cracking Joe, it's keeping that morale up. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but obviously morale and things got really spicy when the rehost came in on the first map.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say anyone was right or in the wrong. I think it was very split about the aspect. I think the rule could have had work beforehand. I think it was a little, the rule is a little wonky beforehand, but the rule did state in one direction or the other. Now, nothing about the rule itself, no question about the rule itself, because you guys are setting precedent. It's going to get changed. It didn't make a huge difference in the long run. You guys won it out, both maps back to back, winning it out for that. But how did that affect your guys' ego, your confidence? I mean, obviously there was a lot of harsh words being thrown out.
Honestly, it boosted it. After Danny decided that they get to the 2 rounds, we just went back into the chat, said screw the 2 rounds. This is our map. Doesn't matter. This is we came here to win, not lose. If they want those free 2 rounds, fine, have it.
I know I had commented on that saying Arise is going to come into this just heated and they're going to really want to do it. And you guys did. You guys came back, tied it 2-2. I believe you guys went up 3-2, and then it kind of flipped back a couple times.
Yeah.
Now, I want to comment about defense. You guys seem to sometimes do really well in defense, and then sometimes it would just really fall apart. The one I want to specifically talk about is when you guys were playing on the last map on Villa, and you guys were holding the objective inside of office and I don't know, a living room. What is it called? The first floor objective. That's not
Yeah,
kitchen.
first floor, yeah.
They rushed you guys. Gunners in Paris. They rushed you guys. They pulled your round one strategy from coastline, and they rushed. They took the objective, and you guys had to play backwards. You guys picked the same objective twice, back to back. Did you guys? We questioned it. We said, well, they lost it, but we know we can do better, so we'll play it again. Was it that, or was it just necessity?
Yeah, we definitely knew that we could play better. I even called out that they rushed through that window, and I threw a beeper there, and obviously, and on between all our comms getting set up and ready, we didn't hear it go off. And then once we realized what was happening, we quickly reorganized ourselves, found the angles above, downed a couple people. We had, I believe it was Raf on the flank that went through bikes to pick up 2 quick picks to change the momentum.
All right, that's all the questions I have of concern right now. Mick, do you have any questions you want to bring up while I think of maybe 1 or 2 more?
Yeah, well, while we got hockey here specifically, I just want to go ahead and give you, your credit during that overtime, or not overtime, but during that round that lets you tied up on Villa. Sitting there, how you played that. It was almost perfect. How you sat there as they were taking it back in that spot, as you got the diffuser down. You had to play out time. You want to get that clip, obviously, as everybody does, go ahead and close out the round. But the fact that you got that small strafe kind of made him slow down a little bit. You had to back up and then kind of wait, and you knew who was going to charge. He was put into a situation where you had to either defuse and you were going to get that clip, or otherwise you were going to sit there and have to go ahead and put him in a situation where he was waiting it out and he had to be scared. I want to go ahead and give you your credit for that, because that was an amazing play by you. Besides that, with y'all's coordination as a team as a whole, and how we mentioned, retaking that spot the first time when y'all took the living room and things like that, what kind of like how you say y'all had to do a reset in terms of that? How did you guys, with that one specific map, what did y'all sit there and point out? Because we were thinking it was more of y'all kind of pushed out a little bit too much and sat there and had to regroup as y'all kind of roamed a little bit too hard or something like that, and y'all knew y'all could play that better. In terms of that, how you sat there and made the call of the beeper being there on that window, what do you feel like as a team concept, not just as an individual, but what could have been communicated better in terms of that one specific round? Because you guys adapted well and y'all sat there and completely flipped the table. And it was really nice to see as y'all kind of drew out the game a little bit longer. But in terms of that, what as a team comparatively, compared to an individual basis, was done on that second time around?
The second time around, we, for one, the first time around, Cho's mom actually came in and called him out. And so he was sitting AFK for a good minute. Our setup was all just messed up, and I even called it before the round started. I said, this round's going to be scuffed. We're probably going to lose it because we weren't ready. And then after we were all ready, we got to our position set up. And when I saw that that window was actually free because we didn't have anybody playing, holding that there, we obviously changed it. And then again, Mir's Milkers thought that they were planting a bomb, so he tried to, on the first one, thought he was planting a bomb, tried to rotate there, but died. And if we didn't have any camps on site, which, or we might have, I wasn't really, but if that happened, we could have made that call, changed that part, so we didn't have to replay it a second time. But the second round, like, yeah, we had our full setup ready to go. We knew where they were gonna push, and when it happened, we all just were like, all right, so they're doing it again, thinking they can get away with it twice in a row, even though I saw it and a lot of us saw it. I'm pretty sure I'm just the one that said it in chat, and just like held those angles above instead.
Got you. And speaking of Mir's Milkers, what with Villa, I saw that he was kind of slowing down a little bit in terms of that Villa map. What did you guys as a team what kind of accountability was held on him? Because I know he's not here right now, but what did you guys what kind of standard did y'all set for him in terms of that match? Did y'all just at that point, it's okay, you're not getting frags, can you just at least get on 0, get as many cams down as possible? Can we utilize you for intel and bomb plants? Like, what was the discussions going on for using him as best as possible? Because no discredit to the man, he's earned his place here in the league, but he just kind of, maybe he was getting tired. We're not on that kind of side of things over there. But what was just the team decision and consensus in terms of how to utilize him as best as possible with, his gunplay going into that game?
In all honesty, I since Mears Melkers is a sub, he's been subbing in for Spam right now because of school difference and all that. But I don't really pay attention to the scoreboard because he's played in comp before. He knows like if he's not doing well, how to like adjust in like things he's got to do. And at the end, like he has COVID as well, and it's getting to the point where it's like dying, and he's getting tired because over here in Michigan it's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and he's got an 8 a.m. tomorrow. And so we just kind of picked up his back, like without even saying anything. We all knew what was going on,
Yeah.
and we all just went for it and just followed up and like we started at the end, and I'll just get to that later. But yeah.
Now, a question, because I know Mick brought it up. Do you guys have any recording of your gameplay, or like we all like streaming individually or anything like that? Because I know Mick talked about it on the first map in Coastline. There was one clutch situation where you guys clutched out a round, and y'all did it twice on the last map there on Villa. You had the round where Chorizo popped off with Maestro and cleaned up the end of the round. You, of course, had your section there, which, by the way, props to you. I also wanted to edit on that.
Thank you.
Great situation. You 10,000 IQ lying on the floor, baiting him out to rush past you because he probably obviously thought you were heading outside instead of hanging out in the room. I know Mick really wanted to hear your guys' comms during those situations. How much do you guys celebrate after like really big clutch round wins? Like how cluttered does your chat get with like with big moments? Because I know after a couple of your moments with clutches, especially with Chorizo and yours, I got lightheaded. I'm seeing stars. I can get into casting you guys. I think those moments are really what make or break casting for any game, really. But you guys really make it fun.
Well, for some of us that can actually scream, because I'm currently at home and my parents are trying to sleep and my sister's got school, I kind of stayed calm in that situation. Like I kept it inside and I was like, that's what we needed. But for the rest of them that could scream, they just let it rip. They just screamed the name, just let it go. Especially after when we won that final round, Softy just screamed at the top of his lungs, let's go, and it's just lit up the chat. Because we know, like, when we win those rounds, we know that there's going to be a momentum shift there. Because that, my 1v1 against the Vigil was a really good like momentum shifting, because it shows that we can be here, that we should be here, and that we know that we can be here.
So kind of talking a little bit on that with the clutches and everything. So I'm going to focus on that last round of the match, and then I have one more question after this just about the future. It's a little outside of the match, but focus on the end of the match there. You had to attack them when they're going to do their second defense. You've lost twice attacking that site in Statue Trophy, right? So it's overtime, you're in the situation, you're trying to close out the game here. What was the adjustment? Because as I mentioned, you lost that 2 times in regulation, and so in overtime you clearly did something a little different, or maybe you noticed they did something and you countered it in order to get the push you wanted. I'm just wondering what the mentality there was. After
we lost those 2 rounds, I just called back to our qualifier win against Marine, when actually after we got backside control and we all set up, we had 2 people go master to pinch them. And that's kind of like when we were saying that we lost that, I was like, hey guys, we are not going master like we did. That's how we won that last round. If they play it again, let's do it that way. And that's what we ended up doing, where me and Softy rotated to master, while Softy picked up 2 frags from bathroom and Astro, and I instantly refragged the Cade after I forget who he killed.
Okay. Makes more sense now. So I can kind of see the pincer movement you're talking about now that I'm recalling it. My other question, and I think this can be the last question unless you guys had another one. No? Okay, just because it's getting late.
I'm fairly good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to keep them here too long. So thank you for your time as well, and thank everyone who's watching for their time. But last question. So I looked at the stats here just to kind of refresh my mind here. This is week 2, I believe, still. And you're 1-0. Gunnerz was one of the 1-0 teams. The other team is Amarok is 1-0. You just knocked out one of the other 3 teams. You're 1 of 3. So now it's up to Amrock to tie you, or otherwise you'll be in the lead at 2-0 to start off the season here. So for one, just how does that feel? Is that something that you feel good about, or is it just not a big deal? Is there other teams you're worried about going forward? And then to follow it up, I know this is looking forward a little far, but if you make it playoffs, let's say, is there other teams in the other division that you would want to face, that you look forward to facing possibly?
Well, to begin with, Amrock, all we talk about is like we were talking about how Gunners in Paris, Amrock, and probably Marine will be our biggest fights or like our toughest opponents in league play. And we were talking in between games, and everybody's talking about how they want to face Amrock because they know that they're a good team and that we really want to face them. We want to see like what they can do and what we can do and push our limits to the next level because I believe that Amrock has been a team for some time now, and we didn't really finalize our roster until the first day of quals because we had a whole stuff happen in our Discord. But for playoffs, we really would like to see Legion. Let's see, where are the people at? I gotta look at their. Let's see. Legion, Nihility, and Dexterity. Those are the three of the people that we would love to see if we make it to playoffs and all that stuff happens.
All right, interesting.
Now, for a little bit of context for a lot of the people watching, Rise last faced off against Dark Space Esports, and I also casted that game. And by the way, good game on that one as well. It went to 3 maps, the longest possible set of overtimes except for 1 round. You guys ended up winning out against Dark Space, and I know you were just talking about, worrying about Dexterity. I've casted for them as well. They're a very good team. I've casted for Nihility. They're a very good team as well. But you guys have beaten Dark Space, but that was an unbelievably close game. Are you guys scared to face them off again, or are you worried again, or do you think you guys have made adjustments after?
I don't think we're worried because before both teams, I believe, were going in blind because none of us had VODs on each other's playing. And last night, before I went to bed at 3 a.m. because I don't fall asleep till like 6 a.m. Gunners in Paris' game and watched their gameplay, wrote down notes, see what they brought, see how they set up, see how they play. If they utilize the 6-pick a lot, which I haven't noticed between any teams, that they really hardcore utilize that 6-pick to try and throw people off. And I believe that helped us a lot more, knowing how they're going to set up, who they're probably going to be playing, where they're going to set up, possible bans that they will do, and all that stuff. But I believe that with all the games going to be played, I believe if we face off against them again, it will either be more one-sided or it'll probably be close again since we both know how we played since we faced before.
Okay. What is it? I got one more thing going forward. So with you guys knowing, not having that much VODs to go after for these past 2 teams, what do you know about coming up? How, if you don't mind me asking, because I know you guys probably want to have your own ace up your sleeves and things like that. But going forward, what approach are you guys going to take with more and more VODs becoming available to y'all? Will you sit there and take a more methodical approach, or are you guys going to sit there and continue off this momentum y'all have of, playing as a team, working a lot more better in terms of coordination and adapting rather than actually establishing a build up front and overall just hoping that strategy works?
We're definitely gonna stick with the adapting level. We're gonna ride our high as far as we can go, but we're definitely gonna stick with adapting because I pride our team in being able to adapt very often and very quickly. Like on the first round coastline, we saw that they set up for a backside push. We immediately ran over to Aqua because it was completely free. Got the Echo in sight. I planted, but I ended up getting C forward, and then after we saw how they played that, we then would send the Ash below to counteract that, or we try to get the quick pick from the roof on her running around in main lobby area, kitchen hall area, which I eventually did, which helped.
Well, that's good to hear because it makes the game a lot more exciting for everybody. And I feel like as much as y'all would like to dominate, you guys are just playing into what y'all do best. So regardless,
Yeah.
I feel like y'all are going to be a force to reckon with what y'all do.
Thank you.
Honestly, I think I think Gunnerz is also going to be a force to reckon with. They may have,
For
lost
sure.
2 maps back to back, but they do have a very strong set. They had a much more even score line. You guys really broke what my expectations were. I usually say the team with the more even score line is typically the team that wins out. You guys completely proved that wrong in the last one. I love to see like when players, well, I predict something and it happens. I also love to see when I predict something it was totally left field. It's something that like makes casting more enjoyable. The surprise, the shock, the high end moments. You guys really make everything. The players determine everything.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Gunners and Paris will be a force to reckon with within our division. It'll be fun watching them play and see how they play on different maps.
All right, and with that, I think we are done with the interview. Thank you very much for coming in and answering all the questions.
Problem.
Love
Yeah,
to
man.
hear from the players.
Thank you for having me.
No
Oh, yeah.
problem, anytime.
Well, that's going to be it for us, guys. That's the end of the match here at SFCL. Stay tuned for more later this week. I believe Friday will be the next matchup. And I think me and Book will be casting that. So thanks for your time, Infernosis and Mick. Enjoyable company to be in. Enjoyed casting with you. Well, you guys casted. I was just, watching.
I actually really liked your observing. I think you did a very good job for it being like one of your first
Agreed.
times here.
All
Thank you
right.
very much for observing for us. I appreciate being here. Thank you as always, everybody. Mick, I'm sure loves to be here as always. If you guys like me and Mick as partners for casting, feel free to let us know. I know I cast with Shield as well. Feel free to let me know about that. I am always available to cast. So just keep your eyes out.
Well, everyone have a good night, and we'll catch you on another day here.
Good night for sure.
Yeah, I know. It's late.
Yeah.
So get to bed. You have school tomorrow, I'm sure.
Thanks, Mom.
See ya.
All right, see y'all.